think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, what happened? I'm here. Who wanted to fight with me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
My goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all the belts, all of the titles.
Welcome to Bodywork. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Bodywork Boxing. It feels so good to be back. Oh man, it's always an honor and a privilege, man, to get another chance to talk about this boxing one more again. Wanted to have a fun episode, man. Wanted to have a fun episode this time, man. So I put out that good energy, man, hoping that, believing that, knowing that we're gonna have some fun. Cookie Monster, Bodywork, salute Cookie Monster. I'm sounding. How is it? Microphone. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Sounding great as usual. Oh, crystal clear. That's what I like to hear. But man, I just been had a lot of time to sit back and reflect, man. This, I don't know. It's something about when them seasons change, man. Fall is like my favorite time to, it's my favorite time, man. It's hoodie season. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing like hoodie season. I love hoodie season, man. And over the years when you get ready to be about 45, man, you definitely start becoming more and more a creature of habit. And also certain times of the year you start thinking about certain things, and every year it pop up like what you were doing this time last year or photos from this time last year, and seasons change, man. You just reflect back, man, on life and everything that's happening. So that's how it's been pretty much lately, man. It's been a time of reflection for me, man, and for my occupation, driving, I have a lot of time to think and listen and watch and learn. I can stop and rewind and play again, and so I can actually get in depth. I can concentrate on stuff, man, and it has my undivided attention. So a lot of the time I'm catching up on what's going on in the sport. Salute AC, salute. But just catching up on what's going on in the sport, getting the latest nuggets, and doing my homework. As I make a couple bucks during the day, man. So that's what I pretty much be doing. But with no further ado, man, I'm gonna get into the housekeeping, man. Get into the housekeeping real quick. All right, the first one, man, Oshaki Foster. He went on $1 million worth of game, and what Gilly did was somewhat unprecedented. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like the idea of it. but it did kind of give me vibes of when it was Bill and Devin against Shakur when they had that. They tried to recreate that hoodie, that red hoodie, black hoodie moment between Earl and Bud. But this was, fast forward present day. They tried to recreate that moment. Well, and they did in some elements, you know what I'm saying? It was a version of it. However, it was like Bill and Devin, and it was just Shakur. And I was like, man, Shakur needed to have Wally in his corner or somebody like that, like because Bill was trying to big boy him and stuff like that. I kind of got the vibe, and look, Gilly, I mess with Gilly the long way. You know what I'm saying? Gilly is one of the funniest guys out here. He definitely one of the coldest with a mic in his hand. You know, he's a fellow Philadelphia Eagle fan, and I respect Gilly, man. I respect Gilly and everything he stands for. I just think that the interview in itself was good overall. And I give a testament to Oshaki, man, because he's just a cold dude, man. He's just a cold cat, man. He went out there on his own, held his own, and it was almost like home cooking. Excuse me. It was like home cooking. And, it's to be expected because you're going to get a little bit of that, especially when, you in Philly. Gilly is all things Philly, like all things Philly. Gilly, and it was a little, somebody said in the comment section, man, they said, man, I feel like Oshaki was behind enemy lines. And I swear that's what I was thinking, man. That's why I say like man's like minds. But I tend to give credit. I saw somebody say that in the comment section, and I that's what I was thinking, man. It's like you having this interview to where everything is like by default. You know what I'm saying? Because you got Gilly and Wallow and Cool Boy, and then you. You know what I'm saying? And to move on with how everything been going, they kind of have been treating Cool Boy as if he was the champion. But let's not forget, he is the challenger. And I've been following Lubin and his treatment and how he's been going. I think he's been way more overlooked than how they've been treating Oshaki, especially in the media. But I will say, I think people's outlook on the fight, they have it in their minds more like a 50-50 fight between Oshaki and Cool Boy, whereas it's already almost like a foregone conclusion in a lot of the media's mind. Just like everybody had Fabio Worley getting washed by Joseph Parker, and that was a foregone conclusion. Let all the experts, give their take. We see how that wound up happening. I keep reminding y'all that this is the year of the upset, so anything can happen, especially with the closeout as we end this theoretically the fourth quarter. And I've been looking at Lubin's disposition. I've been listening to Oshaki. A lot of them both of them, shall I say, kind of have the same sentiments, and where they kind of feel a little slighted, like they're not getting the respect they deserve. I mean, and a lot of it is transparent. If you can read the tea leaves and you're going to follow the bouncing ball all along, you will see these things. But the reason why I mess with Oshaki, man, the reason why I really rock with Oshaki, man, is because real recognize real. You know what I'm saying? It's just something about, man, you can go anywhere, man. You could be in a grocery store, man. You could be across the country. You could be outside of the country. You just gonna run into some people, man, that's just at their core, they just gonna be real and they just gonna tell it like it is. That's Oshaki. Old soul, you know what I'm saying? And they was asking him like about some of the people that he watched currently, right, in boxing. And he rattled off a couple names, but what stuck out to me was he actually said Shakur. And he said, he basically said, "Ho ass Shakur," and Gilly was like, hold on, that's not his first name. Why you talking about nephew like that? You know what I'm saying? Gilly being Gilly, you know what I'm saying? He was like, nah, I'm just saying, I mean, he's like, so hold on, man. You say he ho ass Shakur, but then you say you watching him. And O'Shaquie hit the nail on the head, man. The man said, yeah, he's like, man, I talk about him as far as his ways and how he be acting and the moves that he be making and little silly stuff that he be doing as far as like character. He said, I ain't never say he wasn't nice. Like he said, I'm a realist. I'm not just because I feel a certain kind of way about how you moving and what you doing. That's not gonna take away from how I look at you as far as your skill set. And I was like, damn, who would have thought that out of Gilly, Cool Boy, Wallow, and O'Shaquie will come with the hardest bars. You know what I'm saying? He dropped bars. I'm like, that's what just like how Malik Scott been dropping bars lately, and I gotta highlight these things, man, because it's always better hearing it being justified by somebody who don't particularly know me, don't follow me, we have no relationship, but they actually see the same thing. That's what I've been saying about Shakur for a while now. A lot of people can speak. A lot of people know that Shakur nice. They know he's nice with the ones and twos. They know he's gifted. I call him the definition in my boxes to watch. We know dude got mad skills. The disconnect is like the moves, man. When you start moving funky and acting funky and doing stuff and just, and it looked like you start losing a little bit. But I know, in the 48 laws of power, any publicity is good publicity, man. But I had to highlight what O'Shaquie said, man. I think that just his willingness and like how real his answers are, how direct he is. It's nothing against Cool Boy. I just think that, when I was looking at, if I had to be the judge of that interview and I was listening to a lot of the responses, I would really have to say that, man, it really boiled down to, I think Cool Boy, I'm not going to say he got a false sense of confidence, but I just think that, man, much like how when he was going into, even though O'Shaquie might not be perceived as much of a threat as Naoya, since we all talk about knockout artists, even though he's not perceived as much as a big of a threat as Naoya, I think that the mindset he goes into this fight against O'Shaquie is what's going to be the thing. He was talking that talk, and I part of that's that. You get a Philly cat at home, man, and he at home. You know what I'm saying? He gonna act like he right at home, and I just, the things that's coming out and stuff that he's saying, like how he was like, man, I got heart. I went over to Japan for you know what I'm saying, the monster, and O'Shaquie was like, man, I went down to Mexico for the Mexican. Like, I was down 11-0. They had me down 11-0. Like, it was on. It was Mr. That's why I call myself Mr. Fourth Quarter, man. It was Mr. Fourth Quarter time. You know what I'm saying? I had to put up or shut up. And I got the job done. And I was just waiting so bad for somebody to say, man, listen, man, we know you had heart and courage enough to go over there with them, but your camp, like Greg Haggard and them, was telling you that Naoya was a hype job. That's why I said, man, I can't. Sometimes, man, when people be singing your glowing praises and they can tell you that you're doing no wrong, those people will hurt you. That's why I don't like people like that around me. I'll talk to my people behind the scenes. They check me. I ask them, hey, man, am I thinking this? I ask my lady all the time, hey, man, babe, am I right on this? Or do I? Say, let me know. Don't puff me up and have me in the mess hall with my chest out. You know what I'm saying? Getting ready to get my cornbread taken. You know what I'm saying? That's not going down. Tell me now, you need to do some more push-ups. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nah, you eating too much. Do some pushbacks from the table. Do some sit-ups. Go for a run. Tell me. Brush your beard. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. And that's what I think Cool Boy needs some of that around him going into this fight, because I think I kind of think he is underestimating O'Shaquie. And O'Shaquie speak that truth when he say he pretty much do what he want. I think that my biggest issue with O'Shaquie is that he's like I call him like a cardiac kid. Whereas like his back got to be all the way up against the wall before he fight his hardest. It's like they got to go in there. It's almost like how when, not quite, but like when Bud be fighting or whatever, and he be laxing, and somebody tell him he down or whatever, and then he forces himself to turn it. Or sometimes like when Tank be playing around and he, you know what I'm saying, somebody touch him, you know what I'm saying, and he just turn up. Like it's like, man, O'Shaquie got to go in the fight turned up. Somebody gotta tell him before he go in, hey, they about to rob you, cuz, you know what I'm saying? They say you need a knockout early, you know what I'm saying, to have him turned up going in there, you know. And that's just how I see it. But I thought that was a message coming from a fighter to another fighter, because it's different when it's fans talking about a fighter and everything that they see. But to me, hearing O'Shaquie say it was perfect. He was like, man, everybody respects Shakur, man. They know he nice. You know what I'm saying? You can't from his form and all of that. Now I do think he used to let his hands go. You know what I'm saying? I think that the boxing fan the boxer that a lot of boxing fans actually grew to, you know, like a lot and appreciate was the boxer that was letting his hands go. He'll take us a couple rounds to figure out, then he'll let his hands go. When he was pinpoint accurate, letting off them combinations, being surgical. He wasn't so evasive. And that kind of changed as he moved up. He had a little bit of it at 30, you know, but at 35, it's like it's almost you timid. You know, so imagine what's going on at 40. We seen T.O. and the power and how that really didn't translate up to 40. So what's going to happen with Shakur going up to 40? Will he have more power? You know, I mean, people hit harder. They got longer reach. They're a little taller. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be able to hit you, and they're used to getting punched on by people up there that division. You know what I'm saying? Are they going to eat your jabs like Tic Tacs? You know what I'm saying? And keep going? Or what? But all in all, man, I think that O'Shaquie hit the nail on the head, man. Don't get it twisted. I do talk about Tank versus Shakur a lot, and that's the Cold War, and I do go in on Shakur, but that's because of his behavior, not because of the skill set. And I don't like having to do it so often, but it's like when people start over embellishing and just going too far with the things that they say, you know what I'm saying? I'm one of the people that's gonna be like, hold on now, I beg to differ, and here is why: X, Y, and Z, A, B, and C, 1, 2, and 3. You dig? But that's a good fight, man. I think that we definitely know that fight was that interview was taken and done well before the fight got moved. So we know that interview was done before the fight got moved. I would love to hear from them guys and see how they feel right now. I hope they're not overtraining. I hope they focus. And now I'm not saying that O'Shaquie just gonna go in there and watch Cool Boy. What I'm saying is, I know that O'Shaquie can be very good. If you go back and you look up the fight that he had when he was over there, and when he fought over there in Saudi, look at that fight. That'll tell you everything you need to know about O'Shaquie and how he can be aggressive, how he can cut the ring off, if he come out and he ain't playing, I've seen him like in what he can do. But I am super impressed with Fulton. You know, that after the fight, after the first fight after Naoya, he didn't look so good. He was still down in he had his little funky attitude and stuff like that. But then he got his mind right and he came back, you know, and when he came out with that little outfit with the Timbs and all that box, man, that's the way, that's the Cool Boy. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's the one that I like. So if that Cool Boy come out, right, the one that came out, the second fight after Naoya Inoue fight, and O'Shaquie Foster that fought the one that was over there in Saudi, like how he turned up, you know what I'm saying, switch hitting left, right, you know, and being aggressive and like pursuing and using his hands and going to the body, man, that might rival the Lubin and Ortiz fight, you know. But I just wanted to touch base with that. Much love to Gilly, man, for getting the interview, man. I was gonna play the clip, but I said, nah, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna play it. Do your homework, do your research, go back, look at that interview. It's a good interview, even though it's a little, Oshaki was behind enemy lines. You know what I'm saying? But he handled it like a G. You know what I'm saying? That's why I that's how I move. I move like that, man. I'm gonna be the same me regardless wherever you see me, man. That's why Oshaki and the energy he be keeping, it resonate with me, man. But that's it on that. The next thing that I have is Janabek and Laura. Janabek and Laura is official. That is a unification. With the only belt hanging out there is the WBC, which is held by one Carlos Adames, who last fought to a draw with one Hamza Shiraz, even though he won. The Bronco is the Lone Ranger on this one. He's the odd man looking out as Janabek takes his WBO and IBF to go meet up with Arislandi Lara, the Cuban with the WBA, man, the Cuban sensation, man, who's aging like fine wine, man. He's sitting down on his punches. High boxing IQ, arguably beat Canelo. One of the toughest fights, he had was probably with Jared Hurd. Who would have figured, like a complete clash of styles where he was styling on Jared Hurd, got dropped late. It was almost much like it wasn't as bad or as egregious as when Speedy Rashidi got dropped by Romain Villa, but it put me in the mindset to where I had Speedy Rashidi outboxing the shit out of Romain Villa. Came down to that last round and he got dropped a couple times, and that kind of changed it, and he kind of got pickpocketed. I still had Rashidi winning, but I couldn't argue because the man Villa closed out the fight so strong. It was like, dang. But Lara had that war with Jared Hurd, and Jared Hurd wound up dropping him late in the fight, and he suffered that L. But Arislandi Lara, man, I think he like 42 years old now, and he looking good, man. I wish he would have fought a little bit more often, but at least we're gonna get a unification of 3 of them. So whoever win that will be looking like Earl was looking before he ran in the bud. So it's going to be either Janabek or Lara, barring a draw like what Jermell Charlo did with Castaño, and they had to run it back before he came back. And he's one of them guys to where if it's a rematch, he's stopping you in the second one. That's the kind of energy Jermell Charlo keeps, but hopefully it ain't going to be no draw. Hopefully it ain't going to be no funny business. Hopefully politics won't come into play. They say that Bud is sitting up there eyeing the winner, and I'm like, do I even want to see something like that, man? Let them dudes do all that work and galvanize all them belts. Do I even want to see something like that? Meh. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather them go ahead, full steam ahead, get Carlos Adames in the mix. See if we can get an undisputed at 60, man, and maybe that might make that division more appetizing. Outside of that, you got somebody like Jahad Tucker down there. I'm not sure where Truck gonna be at, but Truck was campaigning at that weight class. I'm not sure how active he's going to be and what he's going to, what he got going on. But 160 it's a lot to be desired, but it can get hot at any minute. But if you told me, if we would have looked back and you asked me, okay, what's going to be the next division that we get undisputed in, I would have never guessed it'll be 160, but they say that's on. And a little extra piece is that the Subriel Matias and Dalton Smith, that's on as well. So I'm thinking they saying that that's going to be, I believe they saying that's going to be in New York. Subriel Matias actually won that purse bid by about, I don't want to miss a zero, but I know they said at least 20,000. I don't know if it was 200,000 or 20,000. I don't know. But that fight is on as well. So Subriel will have to defend against Dalton Smith, and that's that. David Morrell, man. David Morrell is seeking a new trainer. You know what I'm saying? It's being cited that, with the, I guess you could say, lackluster performances, or him not performing to how they think that he could perform, that he's looking for a new trainer. And not only is he looking for a new trainer, they're speculating something that I was switching around. I switched it around. You know what I'm saying? I was switching around with it and thinking about this a minute ago. They're saying that the man might go back down to 168. And I said, man, if he go back down to 168, oh my goodness. You talking about a stat like 168 has been like 168. If he do that, then 168 is going to be rivaling 154 and rivaling 140 all over again. 147 is really getting ready to pop off, but we getting ready to have some concentration in these divisions, man. They just going to have to fight. It's just coming down to the point to where these cats are going to have to fight. But word is, from what I read, is that he's looking to part ways with Ronnie Shields, and that he might be looking at Abel Sanchez. I like Abel Sanchez and the way he talk. I don't like his picks and how he talk about certain fighters, but that's just a personal thing. But I like Abel Sanchez as a person. A lot of the time, depending on who he's talking about and what he got to say, depending on whether or not I'll watch the interview. But I like him. I like him as a man. I like the man that he is. I like that he is straightforward. It's just like I said, if it's somebody I rock with, or you know what I'm saying, I've heard him say certain things about certain people, and they all just like Robert Garcia. He kind of do the same thing that Robert Garcia do. I rock with both of them the long way, especially Robert Garcia. I rock with Robert Garcia the long way, but depending on who he's talking about would dictate whether or not I'll listen to the interview, because I already know what they're gonna be on when they talk about certain people. So overall, I like them. There might be a good look. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure. Maybe because of the language barrier. I don't know. Maybe the language barrier that Ronnie Shields had, and I don't know, man. I don't know if that's a good fit. What y'all think? I don't know. Let me know, man. If you listen to this on the playback, let me know, man. You think David Morrell, I think he should go back to 68. I really do. I think he is a problem at 68. I'm not going to lie to you. If he can maintain that weight and he ain't, going to be looking like a skeleton, and he can actually make the weight and he's in shape and, stay in condition and stay around his walk around, he's very dangerous. He might instantly come back to actually being one of the best people at 68 if he moved back down. 75, we never see it. Almost like how T.O. was looking at 30, like how T.O. looked at 35 versus how he looked at 40. It's almost kind of like the same thing. Almost like kind of like the same thing, the way T.O. was explosive. You know what I'm saying? Or T.O., if he catch you clean, you know what I'm saying, he gonna put you down like that anvil. And David Morrell was looking like a killer at 68. He moved up one weight division to 75 and he looked out of sorts. And them are some big guys, man. Those are some big guys with a lot of punch resistance. I don't know, but the article I read said that he's young enough to pretty much salvage whatever it is. Like, not like he got a lot to salvage. He's still a beast. He's still a monster. I think that he just hasn't been living up to the capabilities or the expectations that a lot of people have for him. He's one of my guys, man. My lady, since I think David Morrell won us like $465 one time. So every time you fight, you like, is that David? Is that David? When David fight again? That's funny, man. She be checking for some David Morrell, the talented Mr. David Morrell. He got one of the hardest slogans in the game. He said, listen, outside the ring, I respect everything and everybody, but inside the ring, I don't respect nothing, man. One of the hardest slogans in the game. So hopefully he find a trainer and he paired right with a trainer. I don't know why these guys are not, Why these guys won't give like Kevin Cunningham a shot? Why they won't give Antonio Tarver a shot? Is it the prices, y'all? Like, why these guys can't? Why these guys can't? Why Tarver can't be in somebody's corner? Coach Kevin Cunningham, I think, man, that Coach Kevin Cunningham, he's one of the best coaches around that. For whatever reason, people don't stick. I don't know if it's because he a disciplinarian. I don't know what it is, because he down in Florida. I don't know. Because I think Tarver down there in Florida too. Is it because they down in Florida? Why them guys can't get one of these like killers under their wing, man, so we could see? Because we talked about this one time before, man. I would love to see Antonio Tarver work with Earl Spence. I would love to see Antonio Tarver work with David Morrell. I would love to see Coach Kevin Cunningham. Now, I didn't think this was going to be a possibility because he did have Lubin, but Lubin, he's working with K. Karoma. You know, I'm not sure how that's going to work because I don't know. I'm not going to speak. I don't know how it's going to work, man. We'll see. But I don't like him changing to that coach going into the Virgil Ortiz fight. But I would love to see Coach Kevin Cunningham work with, especially since he's the Southpaw Whisperer for real. He's the Southpaw Whisperer for real, Coach Kevin Cunningham. He done work with Tank, and Tank looked tremendous. You know what I'm saying? Before, like, it wasn't none of that, oh, it's a different coach, so it's a different Tank. Like, no, he had Tank looking tremendous that one time. You know what I'm saying? It didn't even look like it was nothing different than what Coach Cal and Coach Kenny be doing with him. You know what I'm saying? No, it was no drop off. It was not. He had that killer. And I like the disciplinarian that Coach Kevin Cunningham is. I think that'd be good for Earl, man. But that's it, man, for my housekeeping, man. That's it. Ill and Honey, salute. 200K. Yeah, it was 200K, Ace. Yeah, you right. But that's my housekeeping, man. Let's get into the meat and potatoes now, man. I know that's what everybody wanted to see.
Yeah, basically, I'm just gonna give my piggyback off of what you said and my thoughts about how you opened up the show. The Oshaki and Stephen Fulton video, I actually, it's one of those things where I tell you behind the scenes where I got like a million tabs open. It's definitely a tab I got open, and even when you sent it to me, I was like, oh yeah, I meant to watch that. So it's one of those things that I'm definitely gonna watch before tonight is out and things like that. And so I'm not gonna speak on it because honestly I haven't seen it, and I don't want to bullshit the audience. The Jenna Beck and Laura situation, I'm happy it's made and things like that. But the caveat to it is the one thing that kind of tickles the shit out of me. It just makes me laugh in oh shit type of thing, and that kind of fucked up kind of space at the same time. It's because, you know, you hearing stories about like this great white shark, this sea creature, the Moby Dick. You feel what I'm saying? Of boxing and shit like that. So, you know, people are looking at like, yeah, let's see what happens at 160. But, you know, we got to be careful because we can't speak too loud because, or we can't let too much blood drop in the water, because if that drop of blood get in the water and Bud smell that Bud smells that blood, he might come over there and just steal everybody's thunder from all of these dudes who worked hard as hell to get where they got put in 3-5 years of fights happening, not happening, weight issues, the business of boxing, to get to the point where now we're looking at an undisputed fight. And then they tell you on your first defense of that shit, you got to face Terrence Crawford. I'm like, bro, it's funny in a way if you like a super Bud fan and shit like that. But if you're somebody that's in the middle of it, or, you know, you like Bud, and you'd be like, that's kind of fucked up that this dude is doing shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? So that part just makes me laugh and shit like that. To see how this whole thing is gonna turn out. The David Morrell situation. Yes, I think David Morrell would be a problem at 68. Where it stands right now, most of my favorite fighters at 68, I honestly don't know if they can beat David Morrell. And it all depends on who David Morrell's new trainer is. You feel what I'm saying? Under the old trainer, the mistakes that the guys that I do like, and I'm talking about Pacheco, Iglesias, and Hamza, I may be leaning honestly that I think it would be a close fight, probably split decision or some shit like that if it went to the cards. But I might have David Morrell edging out those guys. You feel what I'm saying? If everybody starts to put it together, those are all 50-50 fights to me, and fights that I would love to see. You feel what I'm saying? David at 175, yeah, I think he can compete and everything, but he might be reading the room a little bit better than what David Benavidez is doing at 75, because we're starting to notice, and to go back to the Duran thing, we might be looking at the guy that has the machine and the money behind him at 75, and that's going to be Ben Whitaker, from all accounts of where it is right now. So David Benavidez is probably, the third toughest guy in the division. I don't know. Like, I've been calling for him and Yardy, and that's really going to let me know truly for me where Benny is at 75. And it's going to really let me know what Yardy has left at 75. But at the end of the day, you have all the talent. You built your fan base from the mud, but you ain't got the money or the machine behind you. So you can be doing all of this work, but it's not gonna pay off like what it looks like it's gonna pay off for Ben Whitaker. So he may have to make that business decision. Both Davids may have to make that business decision coming up in their next maybe 3-4 fights or whatever, figuring out where they're actually going to be. And for David Morrell, 68 looks real good, bro. I understand you went up to 75 to chase Benavidez. You didn't get the nod in that fight, so go back down.
Mm-hmm.
The division is wide open for you. You feel what I'm saying? At this point, we just got to see how you show up and show out. And that's where I end that.
And speaking of, I did hear some news, some interesting news. Whereas Hamza Shiraz came out and said who they were looking at. I know they were looking at Munguia, but he said that they had sent something over to Diego Pacheco.
Ooh.
And they said a week later, that's when they announced that he was going to fight that dude Kevin Saggio. So I was like, I said, it's early. I know they still be building Diego, but we're gonna keep it, you know what I'm saying, all the way 1,000. Wow, you know what I'm saying. Then we're gonna say that we're gonna revisit it, but they gotta be building that fight, man. They gotta be building that fight, man. Because might have been a little early for Diego, but I'm like, man, I would love to see. I didn't know it would be that soon, but Hamza and them said they sent something out there to Diego.
Yeah, I would hope that Diego, this is just a business maneuver around to try to build up his cachet or whatever, so that the machine behind both fighters is relatively equal. Mm-hmm. But just on that initial thing of what you said, I think that may, slightly plausible, perhaps, sounding like a mallard. I'm not gonna call it I'm not gonna call it the more common name, but I'm gonna call it its scientific name right now. At being, you're sounding kind of mallardish, if that's a new word. So, Pacheco, I hope you can clean that shit up, bruh. Because right now the optics of a fan of yours is like, that don't look right, bruh. Some real shit, bruh. So, we'll just have to see how all of this shit gets cleaned up.
I wanted to see if I still had my dictionary up here, man. Where's my dictionary? We had Mallard, we had Peking. Did I get rid of my? Might have got rid of my dictionary, man. I ain't had to use it in a while. But I ain't gonna put that on them. It's just funny, man, because we're gonna have to do it. Like, we're gonna have to do it. I know, being as thorough that we are, we're gonna have to do it if we, if I dig off into this, and it's gonna be one more common denominator. It's a big common denominator, and I'm just gonna put this out here, and we're gonna move on. It's gonna be this is the common denominator. The guy on the left is the common denominator, man. Sounds like something he would do. A week later, they got Saggio. Like, I looked them up. Now, Saggio, record-wise and all that, I mean, it fits the profile. A killer. Like, on paper, you know what I'm saying? Like, the look, all that on paper, but nobody knows him. I'm like, I'm getting tired of this. Like, this is why we just got done, I would say, cooking boots. That's why we just cook boots. Like, this is why we've been cooking Shakur. Like, this is like, it's been one common denominator. And now I see Richardson Hitchens, people starting to get on him and stuff like that because he can't get a fight. I'm like, the dude been blackballed. I gotta do something on him, man. I'm thinking it's official. They officially blackballed that man. All because he did his contract. All because he completed his contract and kind of slid out the door on Eddie. And I guess they trying to make it seem like, oh, he bit Eddie in the back and all that. I'm like, man, look at the history. Like, look, I mean, he fulfilled his contract. Like now he can't get a fight. So now he's getting ready to have to do something crazy, like move up he getting ready to come up here and try to fight the winner of Devin and than Brian Norman. But I'm not gonna get off into that. Let's have some fun, man. I thought this would be a fun episode. This is what I really want to talk about. It's not just about this guy, even though this is what they fear. This is what they fear. That number down there at the bottom, that's what they fear, because they know that the likelihood at the level that he is, where, like, I hear a lot of Boots and Tank comparisons, whereas that's cool, that's fine and dandy and all, but this is his knockout ratio, and he's typically always the smaller guy. He always have a couple disadvantages, whereas the other guy, he always has all of the advantages. And his knockout ratio is not like that. You know what I'm saying? He's only been in one weight division. This is just the beginning of his second weight division. So I would slow down on those comparisons. But I'm asking today, with the state of boxing and how it is, are the knockout artists like endangered species? Because it's starting to be like this. The reason why we clamor for them, like the reason why you might not know how to spell his name, but Beterbiev at light heavyweight, he's must-see TV. We got people that'll say, oh man, I wouldn't buy his fights, but if he's fighting, you know what I'm saying, I'm watching. I mean, I'm not necessarily down to pay for the pay-per-view, but if he's fighting, I'm watching because he's a knockout artist. You can consider David Benavidez, he's a knockout artist. You know what I'm saying? Ja Opatai. If you don't look at the first couple fights, but as he's been, the competition has been increasing and he's been getting in there with names, he's been getting them up out of there. Brian Norman, up to a certain point, he's been getting people out of there, and that's the cachet around him, why he's must-see TV. Abdullah Mason, when you look at him and the fashion in which he's getting out, it's an art to actually getting people up out of there. Not saying that you got to get everybody, but it is an art to it. And there was certain people that had a knack for doing it. And this is what I was really going to talk about. When you look at Big George, when you look at Roy, when you look at Mike, and now Tank, it's an era, it's a period. And the only reason why it's a big gap in there where you got Roy and then Tank, or, you know, if you want to put Tyson, Roy, Tank, the reason why it's a big gap is because right in between there was a guy named Floyd. Ooh, he in his, at the lighter weights, yeah, he was knocking shit out, but he had a span of time to where it was just him, and he wasn't perceived as a knockout artist, so to speak. He was just a masterful boxer. But he could have damn near, if he would have still been putting people out at the rate he was when he was Pretty Boy, then he would definitely been up. He'd been right up there, like in that big gap, because that's why it's a gap between Tank and Roy, because it was like really nobody that kind of filled that gap as far as knockout artists. So I've been wondering, man, with the state of boxing and how it is, right? It's funny because it's like the knockout artist is, it's weird because if it's a fighter that's knocking out people and people don't particularly care for him, they say, oh man, everything is, it's not about the knockout. It's not about the knockout. But then you have a fight like what happened this past weekend where it was clear that Fabio Wardley done more than enough. He got the job done. And people still wanted to see the finish. But the same people that like to see guys, or they might root for certain guys who don't particularly finish, there's never really no pressure for them to finish. But the only distinguishable thing with these guys that are knockout artists who take things into their own hand is just like my lady be saying. You got to take it out of the judge's hands. Like in today's day and time, and any time, is the safe, the easiest or the most guaranteed way to make sure you win is to take the guy out. And I always have to explain this. You got to think about this. This is a contest when you're in the sport of boxing. The contest is to see how long you can go, how far you can go. If it's a 4-round bout, okay. If it's a 6-round bout, okay. If it's an 8-round bout, okay. If it's a 10-round bout, okay. If it's a 12-round bout, okay. Back in the day, it was going longer than that. I still think they should have an odd number of rounds, though. I think that would probably stop all of this tie and all that. But I think they want the controversy. That's why they didn't go. Thinking maybe 13 rounds might be good. Might be good. I would say get one more round, make it an odd number. But I digress.
But that's when we had the 15 rounds. That's an odd number.
Yeah, 15. That was
5 rounds was an odd number.
Yeah, they should go to that. Like they should go to that. But the only way to guarantee the victory is to take your guy out of there. So if you get the boxer's knockout that you always refer to, which is the TKO, that means that you knocked them down too many times, or what's the different ways for the TKO? We always say it with a ref.
Yeah, put any hands on him, the ref was just like, bro, he beating your ass. This shit's done. You know what I'm saying? Unanswered punches.
That's what we got this weekend.
Yeah. And just clearly outskilling the person to, you know, to where you're still fighting and you still look like you're in the game, but the skill difference is so great that you're fighting your heart out, but you can't hit him. You can't cleanly connect on him flushly. And this guy is, what you can't do to him, he's doing to you in an abundance. So it's just like, this is so lopsided that, you know what, guy, you'll just come back at it at another day. Let me save yourself from yourself.
And if like the thing that Stanyanis did, well, he didn't come back out.
Yeah, retiring on the stool. Yeah,
retiring on the stool. But it's an art to actually doing it. It's like that's why I had that with Tank say in the beginning of the thing, he's like, man, a lot of people think I just go in there looking for the knockout. He said, and that's not the case. I'm actually a smart, skillful fighter. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what a lot of people don't really understand about the knockout. It's artistry to it. And I think that it's an endangered species. Why? The reason why is because there's a couple different reasons. One of the reasons is because it's scary. Like when you look at this guy right here, and I wouldn't even say that he's particularly a knockout artist. It's just been the last demo that he put down. The second guy from the right. The last demo that he put down on Tim Zoo was so bad, and he actually they said it was successful. So him and Josh Kelly going to get it on. They came to an agreement. They're actually going to fight. So he gets a defense, and Josh Kelly going to actually follow through with it. They was actually able to do it, but it's scary. It's like Sabril Matias, you know, and Sabril Matias sent somebody to the upper room, you know. But as a knockout artist, it's hard for people to get. It's hard to get fights in a lot of cases, especially those guys from across the pond. Like him, like since he's across the pond, man, it's easy for guys to be like, nah, I'm not interested. You know, they'll find all kind of ways as to why they can't make the fight. But it's the same reason why people grew to love David Benavidez. Right? So now he's at light heavyweight. They grew to love him. But at a point in time, it became very, very hard for him to actually get certain fights. Like, if you could think about it, Canelo just got 150 to fight Bud. He asked for 200 M's to fight David Benavidez. Like, you know, the knockout artist it's a gift and a curse. Because depending on how you manage or whether or not you got the machine behind you, you know, you might have to go out there and not look so good. You know, you might have to let people off the hook. You might have to have a bad performance so people think you're vulnerable, which is dangerous because this is the sport of boxing. But it's an art to it.
Yeah, for me, I would, for me, I don't think it's in jeopardy per se. It has an appearance of being in jeopardy because wherever you are on the side of the fence of your favorite fighter, right? And I'm gonna go to use the Joseph Parker versus Wardley as an example, right? I'm starting to see increasingly more and more videos that are asking the question, was the fight stopped too early? Was it a legit robbery and all of this other stuff? And it's fucking with me because it's like, okay, if you're asking this question, you're being disingenuous because if you watch this fight, you could have seen. If you feel that stoppage was too early, then tell me about what happened in the 10th round. Yes, the ref came in and broke it up, and I think this is where people are feeling a certain way. When the ref came in and broke him up, Wardley backed up. He looked a little tired. He threw that real low, lazy jab to the body to keep Joseph Parker on the ropes, and then he stepped in and just connected with, like, he threw 4 punches, maybe 5 punches, but 2 of those punches that connected were hard bombs that had his hand flailing and shit like that. Prior to that, we heard the announcer say in the point that you always bring up, those 20-something odd or so punches that were thrown by Wardley, to whereas the announcers were even saying it looks like the ref may be looking to stop this. So if you heard these announcements, how did we get here? Because you may have lost money on Joseph Parker, which I think is the more accurate reason why you dudes is feeling this way, simply because you lost money. Or you were just that big of a Joseph Parker fan. I'm gonna stay on the side of you lost money. This is why you dudes is out here saying it's because you went with the populist conversation that Yeah, Joseph Parker should be able to beat him, outbox him. He faced better better competition. He trained with Tyson Fury, yada yada yada, smarty smart. But it's like you guys never really looked at Joseph Parker. You talk about his wins, but did you really look at his losses and how he lost? Because you've seen those same glimpses of how he lost those other fights in that Wardley fight. If you're a fan of Joseph Parker and you know what you're looking at. So that's why I was like, nah, Wardley got this. I was going for a unanimous decision, shit like that. I wouldn't even have been mad if it was a majority decision. So I don't see it that way whatsoever. I didn't see a fake stoppage. I was like, well, if the fight doesn't get stopped now, more than likely Joseph Parker gets knocked the fuck out in the next round.
Yeah, it's another thing is the fake outrage.
Yeah.
I noticed that a lot of people have fake outrage, man. And if, you know, somebody out here that they're getting a lot of attention or they got something going where they can keep it going, it's popular, they actually agree now. Because, you know, you don't want to have to defend your stance. Or Lord forbid, you have to debate somebody about it and have to stand on your own too. You're just going to look ugly. You know what I'm saying? Really. But this is my thing, AC. Do you recall, you know a guy named Jerron Ennis?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall his last fight?
Vaguely, but I do. Yeah. I mean, it was so short with that thing that people are somehow or another hating again, depending on what side of the fence their favorite fighter is on or the money line is on. So we'll see.
So what were people saying when they slowed that down and they looked at the end of that fight? That most of them punches, because you came on here and said what? Right after the fight, most of them punches didn't land, right?
Yeah.
Did we talk about that? We said that when it came down to that 2-minute warning, that 2-minute drill, in and out like a robbery. In and out like a robbery. When that fight happened and it was slowed down, they actually showed it. They saw that people who did their homework and their research or actually cared to actually give an honest take said that most of them punches didn't even land flush. Yeah. But we didn't, you notice how we didn't see no outrage. We didn't hear no outrage. Why? Because it was good to actually see that somebody could actually do that kind of damage and they make that big of a statement, that big of a splash. But the energy is not the same.
No, not at all.
You see what I'm saying? It's like there was no outrage, there was no fake outrage and all this and all that. It was just if Joseph Parker would have won, if Joseph Parker would have won, or the ref, because they listen. When you look at that fight, surprisingly enough, somebody else pointed it out. Tim Bubblehead Bradley pointed this out. Basically, earlier on in that fight, Joseph Parker hurt him.
Yeah.
And the ref, it's supposed to be a natural pause in the action when this happens. It's supposed to be some natural pause in the action, right? And if it's a dull in action, then the ref can actually reach down, get the mouthpiece, and then put it back in. But earlier on when he got hurt, the ref kind of interrupted it, and people say that, like, I know I looked at it and I almost forgot it happened because I was like, man, I know what I've been watching. That's why I say a lot of people that had that fake outrage didn't really watch the fight.
Yeah.
But that was a point that I wanted to make as far as the perception of the fight and versus what really happened. Like I'm over it. I don't really care. I'm just like, let's just find something else to talk about. Because
and the funny outrage is at the end of the day, the thing that puts asses in seats is the stoppage. Mm-hmm. We look for the sweet science here and there, but if you can compile the sweet science with the stoppage, then you are must-see TV. So then you get the weirdos that are talking, yeah, but he could box and it's boxing and it's boxing. It's not called KO. But at the end of the day, the fighter who gets the KOs is the fighters that everyone wants to see.
What's up, Irony Boxing? What's up, Smoke? How y'all doing?
Yeah,
You guys doing? What's up?
What's on your mind, Irony?
I mean, I wanted to talk a little bit about the whole thing with Parker and Wardley, if you don't mind, because I covered this on my live a few days ago, or last night rather. And yeah, I'm with AC, man. Like, if you look at the 10th round, Parker was pretty much saved by the bell in that 10th round, and that's on the referee's mind. And in that interview with Ariel Helwani, I saw the whole thing, and Ariel was saying like he was winning I don't think Parker was winning the fight. I had a 5-5 after 10, personally. Now, there was a bunch of swing rounds in there. You know, if you had it for Parker, I wouldn't be mad at you, or the other way around, or whatever. But clearly, Fabio was getting the more success as far as the damage goes, you know? Do I think it should have been stopped? No, he probably should have gotten an 8, and you know, the standing 8 count, or whatever the case may be. But I counted, in that whole sequence of the stoppage, I counted at least 35 unanswered shots to only 2 from Parker. Now, granted, some of those missed. It's not like he landed flush every single time. I'll give you that one, and thank God for that, right? But you know, he landed enough. He landed enough. It wasn't like he missed 90% of those. I would say 60-40, maybe 65-35 as far as the, you know, miss and landing ratio. Nah, I can't get there. And Parker, I had Parker, just to be clear, my prediction was Parker by late stoppage, so the late stoppage came the other way around. So I wasn't mad at it. I don't think people were starting to connect the dots. You know, he's not from the UK. Nah, I'm not rocking with that, bro. Not really.
Yeah. Excellent points, man. I couldn't. I said like 29. I said I could be wrong, but I said it's like 29. I'm like, what else you want? They let him live to fight another day, because I'm gonna tell you, right at the end, after those 2 that he threw, and then Parker came back, he barely missed that uppercut. If that shit would have landed, that dude would have collapsed, and they would have been concerned about that man's health, man. He get to earn another check. He get the, you know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna be, you know, eating out of a straw, or you know, getting brain damage. So it was, you know, I'm not.
Yeah, but it was the uppercut that started that whole 35 punch, well, 25 to 35 punch sequence. He was caught with an uppercut leaning in.
Well, that was in round 10.
In 11.
No, 11 was a right hand. It was a straight right hand. Well, as far as I saw, it was a straight right hand that started the whole thing. You know, but that's fine. You know, that's neither here nor there. You know, the fact of the matter is, if you're not answering back, and there was a minute and a half left, like he let you go on the 10th round because it was 10 seconds left, and whatever the case may be, I get that. But a minute and a half left, and you ain't throwing nothing back, pretty much. I mean, you got to put yourself in the referee's shoes sometimes. You know, they if something happens to you, you know, the referee's gonna get all the, you know, all the blame. So I'm not mad at the referee, to be honest with you. I'm not.
And Joseph didn't protest.
He kind of did.
He said what? He leaned back. He said what? And
right.
Then, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh. It wasn't like, he was, you know, it was like, you know, early stoppage, like when they be like, what? Like I'm saying, like they be all like, he was just standing like, what? Like, huh? Like, really? You gonna stop it like that? Like, it wasn't no real protest. It was like, come on, dude. Like, I saved you, bro. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, he accepted it even when they announced the winner of the fight. When they, you know, at the end, he shook his head, gave it thumbs up. He accepted that. Yeah, I lost that fight. Yeah, you know. But Pop, what's good, man? What's your take on all this?
He got old in the fight. I've heard everything. I heard the Frank Warren conspiracy theory. I heard all that shit in the last few days. He just got old in that fight, man. The uppercut, yeah. He didn't recover. When he came back out, he looked sluggish and tired. When he got caught, it was pretty much over. And just like you said, bro, he didn't, like, I tried to say, hey, man, he wasn't retaliating. Nah, man, yes, he was. He threw the 2 good shots. Two shots? Out of all the
235.
shots he was taking,
Yeah.
that's what. All right, cool. If you, so then I've heard all of the Frank Warren and the Fix was in and trying to get another shot with another Frank with one of his fighters so he can get the payday out. I heard all that shit in the last few days. But I'm still sticking to what I said. Looked like he got old in that fight. Word. To be truly honest with you, because he did not have to fight Fabio.
Can I ask you a quick question? Do you guys think that that weight, because that raised an eyebrow for me. He came in at, what was it, 260 or something like that, and I was like, man, I don't know if that's the smartest thing, because against this guy, you might want to keep your mobility. You know, do you think that had something to do with it or no?
Yeah, I mean something. I think so, probably because he might not have had that. I don't think he might not have had that umph. He was thinking that he was gonna have more punch resistance, maybe. But then, you know, when you got to move around with all that extra weight, and you typically don't do that, you know, it'll affect you. It'll wear your batteries down even more. Thinking you're gonna be able to take the punch resistance, but what about your gas tank? Your punch resistance might be a little better, but then your gas tank gonna be. So when your gas tank really give out, and you in there with a puncher like Fabio, you know.
Every time Fabio pinned him in the ropes, all the way down to the second round, which is when Fabio started to like really, you know, notice in the fight. It didn't seem like Parker had the legs, man, to pivot out of there. You know?
Yeah, it's for me that's the heaviest I've ever seen Joseph Parker, and I was like, damn, he looked big. But I also commented on how lean and in shape Fabio Wardley looked at the weigh-ins. I'm a person that watches NASCAR and shit like that. So if you come in with your car and you got 40 something laps to run and you say, I'm gonna make 0 pit stops, we're gonna install the extra tank and we're gonna load the car up with fuel so we make 0 pit stops. If that's your strategy, then you have to understand that you're going to run behind until everyone starts to pit, if that makes sense. So you coming in extra heavy for what reason? Could it have been punch resistance because it's Wardley can crack? You feel what I'm saying? He has that one punch knockout ability and stuff like that. And you've already been subject to being stopped. So could I say it was punch resistance? I'll give you that argument, Joseph Parker, but that same punch resistance you tried to build up was the same thing that slowed you down and took away some of your conditioning, your ability to hit them corners and break, do late breaking so you can coast through those corners without losing too much speed. So every time you had to turn a corner, bro, you slowed down just a little bit. Wardley noticed that, and he was like, okay, you can outbox me from the outside and mid-range, but once you step in close or you allow me to step in close, I'm just gonna punch with you.
And the other thing is this. He should have known that he's not the kind of guy that's gonna be in there leaning on you. You know, inside fighters, they'll lean on you, and you know, you might need to pack a lunch for that, but like he's not that kind of fighter. Like, even though he's not the best boxer, he's a mid-range. Like he ain't just gonna be in there just leaning on you, you know what I'm saying, doing it all the way inside game. That's not even his game. So I think it was just a miscalculation. I think he thought that maybe it worked for when he went in there with Bacoli. You know what I'm saying? So he thinking, okay, I'm going in with another puncher. Let me do the same thing. But I think it wasn't the right game plan. You need that with big Bacoli leaning on you. Yeah, I could see. Yeah, you're going to need something because you ain't going to be running around like that. You might get leaned on, so you might need something. Wardley is not that kind of fighter, so I think it was a miscalculation.
I think it don't make no sense for me all the way around, and I was just about to say that because if you look at the Justice Hooney fight, not for nothing, Justice Hooney really gave the blueprint to beat Fabio Wardley. That's what I think Parker should have did. You know, just box him and just don't make this mistake. You know, don't get, you know, it's easy for me to say, obviously, but just don't make the mistake of getting countered like that. Like, that to me is the way to beat Fabio Wardley, because like you just articulated, he's not like a big baby Miller or like a Bacoli who's gonna use that weight on you, to his advantage. So I think it was, I don't know whose idea was it, but it was terrible idea, because honestly, in my opinion, if he would have kept his mobility and fight like he fought, for example, Zile Zhang or something like that, I think he would have won the fight personally. And that's no disrespect to Fabio, but it was just a terrible game plan altogether, because I didn't think in a million years he was going to come heavy like that, to be honest with you.
I think he got tricked out of the damn spot.
But let me tell y'all some. Let's switch gears a little bit and get back into the knockout artist thing. This is the last little tidbit I had. When you look up by round, I looked up the minimum of 20 fights with like the higher KO percentages throughout the divisions, right? And at light heavyweight, they got Artur Beterbiev. At super middleweight, they got David Benavidez. At middleweight, they got Janabek. At 154, they got Virgil Ortiz. They still haven't had Boots, but at 147, they had Boots because he just moved up. At 140 super lightweight, they had Sabril Matias. At lightweight, they had Tank. At super featherweight, interesting, they had Emmanuel Navarrete. At featherweight, they had Mauricio Lara. At super bantamweight, they had Naoya Inoue. At bantamweight, they got Junto Nakatani. Super flyweight, they got Bam Rodriguez. Flyweight, Julio Cesar Martinez. Light flyweight, they got Kenshiro Taraji. And minimum weight, they got Melvin Jerusalem. So those are the guys, and I'm pointing this out because if you look at it, the state of boxing, they're always clamoring for these guys. They like the state of boxing, they actually want to see these guys fight, except for there are times where people pick and choose when they want to fight these guys. Sometimes it's kind of hard for these guys to get some people in the ring, like not at the smaller weights. They kind of fight each other. The really smaller weights, they pretty much, they don't have a bad job at pretty much fighting each other. They're going to get it on. But the higher you go up, the harder it is for these guys to get a fight. And you got to look at it like this. Virgil Ortiz, only one guy survived. Was it one guy? No, two guys. He was in two fights. One that he arguably lost. That was Boychuk. And then you had Madrimov. Outside of that, nobody else survived. And he went from 140, 147, 154. And he hasn't had a title, but people still want to see him. You know what I'm saying? It's a demand for the knockout artists, but I don't think they're getting appreciated. And I think it's with the way boxers are today, I think they're kind of going away. What y'all think?
Again, for me, it's okay. You can be you're a fan of Tank, right?
Mm-hmm.
People want to see Tank fight X, Y, and Z. These guys are boxers. You feel what I'm saying? So it lends to the classic confrontation, the classic fight, the boxer versus the puncher. You so to speak. But we all, if you're a Tank fan, you know the dude can really box. So Tank is in a weird place because he can do both, but he has that mean streak to stop you, and if you offer him the knockout, he has the power to put you to sleep. Same thing early Floyd was doing. You know what I'm saying? That made Floyd Mayweather who he was. Floyd started to get criticism when he stopped knocking people the fuck out. For the most part, for me, when I look at it, the boxer, I mean, again, it's simple math for me. If you're the guy who understands and can perform certain aspects of the sweet science, and you don't have to be the best boxer, you just have to know how to box and apply the sweet science by setting shit up, setting your traps, and then you could finish a person. You're gonna be the person people gravitate to. You feel what I'm saying? And that's your Abdullah Masons, that's everybody that's out there. And if you're just a straight up boxer, honestly, those are the people we're not really looking at. Those are the boring fighters. But again, it's the fan base. It's the fan base. If your fan base is louder and more consistent, then people are gonna be like, well, it's called boxing, not knockouts. So that's where I'll land that plane.
Well, I would say, first of all, I think you started with the like heavyweights. At cruiserweight, it gotta be Jaya Petaya, right? But nevertheless, this is very interesting. I'm glad you this is like your topic, because for certain people, it's almost like you're too good for your own good. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's almost like, yeah, you have all, because there's other things, there's other elements that come into play for me. Like, yeah, you're a great knockout artist, but is it worth it to fight you? And what I mean by that is, okay, let me phrase this properly. So, is it worth it financially? Is it worth it? Because I'm trying to think about, you know who I'm thinking about, right? The elephant in the room is Bakram Murtazalia, right? That's the big ass elephant in the room here. And the fact that he can't get a fight to save his life, and he ain't with any big promoter. Like, if that were to change, I think he would have get to fights. That's the problem with boxing. That's fucked up, because you're good, but then you don't have this other stuff, and that makes you you're basically standing around holding you know what in your hand, you know? So how do I answer this? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't have a good answer. I mean, it's fucked up, bro. It is, because he should get the fights. Bakram is that dude, in my opinion. I'm zoning in on him, but yeah, there's other people like you just articulated. But I mean, the smaller weights, they pretty much stuck with each other. You know, there's not a whole room of people. There's not a bunch of 105-pound men that want to box in this world. You know, so they're pretty much stuck with each other. But when it comes to between, how do we say, featherweight and super middleweight, just to say something, right? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's just the politics of it, man. Why fight the guy that can murk you when you can fight this other dude that
basically saying, he's basically saying, in this era, depending on what side of the fence you are with your fan, it's okay to duck.
That's the sad reality, bro. That's all hard fact.
Listen, irony. Listen, this is the irony boxing. Schofield, he turns down $1 million for Abdullah Mason. He goes in there and he sparks out Tevin Farmer. He gets JoJo on the hook. He pulls out. He see what the Tank's doing or whatever, and so that belt's getting ready to go up for grabs. And they're figuring they're going to pull out of this, circle around, and maybe hopefully by that time, because they did, I believe the WBA did order that fight with Roach. And so the fact that Tank kind of like walked away and he's going to go do this, you're going to go play in the sandbox with Jake Paul, that belt might pop out. Now, I don't know, you know, the WBA, I think they're pretty smart and they know what's buttering their bread. You know how it works, because it's money. It's a percentage of the purse that they get. But if they pop that out and they give that to Schofield, they are happy at being strategic. And it's like, I don't have anything personal against the Schofields, but I'm like, look at how they playing the game. You turned down Abdullah. Now, Abdullah's taking a risky fight by fighting this guy, Sam Noakes. Everybody thinking that he just, you know, he's gonna pretty much beat him, but we don't know. Like, we're leaning towards it. We're rooting for Abdullah to do that. But he turned down $1 million for Abdullah, spark out Tevin Farmer, get ready to get another senior citizen in JoJo Diaz, and now he pulled out so he can wait, hoping that he's going to get a belt that way.
But can I come in with this point real fast? Just remember what Schofield's father said. He kind of alluded to say, why put everything in jeopardy when you already know what's coming down the line? So basically what he's saying is, them pulling out the JoJo Diaz fight ain't got really shit to do with his hands, because his pops dry snitched that whole thing out by saying, he gave the reasons why, if anything, pulling out of the Jojo Diaz fight makes sense because you're in line for so much that, he's like, well, this is all a blessing from God because why jeopardize this and jeopardize that? My son hurting his hand only made things better for him looking ahead to the future. So they got their eye on what's going to happen with Tank. And they're counting on Tank not coming back and losing that belt and then being elevated to that champion, or have to fight some dude that's easy to beat to get that belt.
I don't know. The word is that they're gonna, as I understand, if Tank ends up vacating or getting stripped or whatever, what I understand is that Kid Austin is gonna fight Lucas Body for that belt. That's what I heard. Now, that's the fight that I want to see, but I'm not rocking. First of all, I could care less what Mama Holyfield says, but beyond that, so what are you saying here? Are you saying that you think JoJo is a threat to you? Because to be honest with you, I thought this was a pretty good stay busy fight, bro. To be honest with you, since Tank is not on the table, JoJo did he win against Regis Prograis? He did, right? He beat Regis Prograis, right? So not for nothing, he's coming off of a win. JoJo is. So, I mean, he's a seasoned veteran. He's been in there with a bunch of people, and or did Regis pull it off?
He didn't win.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, he didn't win that. So. Yeah. So even like, bro, the track record is there, bro. The whole Shakur debacle is there. Even Turkey don't like you anymore. Like, I don't know. You're strolling through a pretty dangerous path in my view. But hey, if the Lucas Body fight happens, I mean, sign me up, bro, because I want to see that.
And that's something we called the other day when we was going over 35. That Lucas Body possibly, if Tank moves up and doesn't come back down to 35, then we looked at two names that would fight Schofield for that WBA belt that they would fight for a vacant title. So at the end of the day, man, like I said, they know how to play the game. And, if you know how to play the game and you know how to maneuver and distract with comments and things like that, but your comments don't match your actions, but your actions are always putting you in the room, then to a certain degree, I can hate the stupid shit that you say, but I gotta respect the moves to a certain degree of how you playing this game, because you playing the game like you're a seasoned veteran of this shit.
Yeah, and then they came out and was talking about, we could fight Shakur again. I was like, stop it, bro. Stop it. We're not going down that. They're not going down that path with you. It's going to be very hard because I'll be pissed. Right. Like if you, this is the third time. Now I understand people get injured and all that, but this is the third time, man. This is the third time. He was supposed to fight H2O. He was supposed to fight H2O. Lucas Body wound up fighting him, and he that's when he caught the body, and he had pulled out of that fight. Then you got the whole getting tapped on your shoulder, being sick, whatever it was over there across the pond in Saudi and doing all of that stuff. And now you have this one. It's like people gonna get tired, and he kind of got a fan-friendly style. It's not a bad style to watch it, but we don't really know what he is, and we keep going through this. He got to do what he got to do for his career, but like, this is the time when you get out of the media again, man. Go get out of the media, man. Get out of the media. Yes. Go sit down somewhere for a little while, man.
Do some soul searching, because to be honest with you, bro, like, none of these dudes should give you time of the day. Like, why would Abdullah rock with you anymore? Why would Shakur entertain another fight with you? Like, you're burning all these bridges, and I don't know, man. I don't know. It might pan out for him. It might, because I think the kid is talented, bro. I think he's going places when it's all said and done. But I don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you. AC, you were saying, like, I respect how you're playing the game. I don't know if I can get there, to be honest with you, because I think he's doing more bad than good.
When you actually look at it, right? When you actually look at it, there's perception and there's reality. The reality is people thought that they fucked up when it came down to Riyadh, right? When you look at the last interview, his pops told you, we didn't pull out that fight. Their commission pulled us out of that fight. So when he told you that, then that kind of tells you what the whole situation is. And then you could keep that in mind as you talk about what you're saying about Shakur, right? Keep that in mind when you're talking about Shakur, because at the end of the day, Shakur had the hurt phalanges. He was supposed to have had the surgery, and his hands were supposed to be whatever. Right. But yet you go in there and you fight Padley. Then you tell us, you know, when it came down to Tank, oh, my hands are still hurt, but then you wanted to fight Lamont Roach. Then you say my hands are still hurt, but now you're trying to make a fight with Teofimo Lopez, and you're sparring a heavyweight. So to bring this kind of full circle, you're the boxer. The fight to be made is the boxer versus puncher. That's the classic rivalry. But yet, the knockout guy is actually out here searching for a fight, and meanwhile, the boxer is actually being manufactured into X, Y, and Z. And you were just to face another puncher, another knockout guy, or supposedly suspected knockout guy in young Schofield. So when you look at his moves, you can be pissed off at certain other things, but when the smoke clears, and this is not a hindsight situation, why the fuck does this kid keep coming out on the side where the grass is actually greener, where you're eating the caviar and drinking the champagne, even though the fans keep saying you're fucking everything up? So at the end of the day, it's like either that's brilliant idiocy or it's just brilliance at its core. And for me, I'm gonna stay more side on this dude knows how to play the game. He knows how to ruffle the feathers of the internet and have everybody talking about his son, to read certain temperatures and things like that. But if you listen closely, you're gonna hear the pops say things that actually will come to fruition in between the stupid shit that he's saying. So to a certain degree, it's like cough medicine. When you got a fucked up cough, it's good for you, but the taste will never go down sweet.
So is it one of those things to where eventually it's gonna bite him in the ass, or is that gonna be the kind of champion? This what I'll be looking ahead. Is this the kind of guy that we want with a belt around his waist, like with people standing in line behind him?
No.
I mean, yes and no. I would say yes, but for the part that he will be attractive because he has the ability to stop people. You know, going back to your original point about the knockout artist and this and that. So yes, and he is with Golden Boy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see. The real answer is we'll see, right? Because is this type of thing going to continue? Is it going to stop? Are we going to, because you agreed to the fight in principle, right? That you agreed to fight Jojo Diaz, and so you give your word for something, and then you be like, well, you know what, not so much. And I don't know, man. Like, as far as your question about is this the champion that we want, I think it's too early to answer that, to be fair.
No.
You think no? Okay.
No. No.
But it's mainly because of his father, right? AC?
No, because of him too. Because he's just like his dad.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Same thing, man. Word. No. No.
Now, I'm probably gonna. I could see your point, Irony, and I can definitely see your point. But to many of the diehard fans of the sports and stuff like that,
no,
those type of moves that you are actively co-signing, actively participating in, are the type of things that drive the boxing purist type fans crazy, because we don't want a champion that's maneuvering. We want a champion, that's not running from the smoke, has a tough saying like "I got an appetite for smoke," has a tough saying that when the B-norm storm blows into town, you grab your boots and run. All that type of shit, in and out like a robbery. These are the type of sayings you feel what I'm saying, that we're looking for, and we say, all right.
You cut out.
Word.
I think he
But-
cut out, or
But this what I'll say. When I say bite him in the ass, well, this is what I mean. He can play the politics game, and he can do, he's it look like he's teeter-totter on the line. It's like he piques the interest, and he like prairie dogging. He pique everybody's interest, and then it's like, oh, let down. It's like, but you get the benefit of the doubt, because we was all pissed off with him, but when he came out there and sparked Tevin Farmer, like I always say, that wiped the multitude of sin away. So then now you're back in the doghouse again, because it is. And if you come out and you spark somebody, it's gonna wipe away a multitude of sin. What we gotta consider is, he got a Tevin Farmer that just had to fight Raymond Danger Morataya, took him distance. That wasn't the blowout, you know what I'm saying? Like Raymond came back and surged in the late part of that fight, right? But Tevin Farmer was in that fight, right? Then he come out and he fights Williams Zepeda, gives him everything he wants. Some people argue, like myself, say he won that first one, dropped him and everything, right? But the politics got in the way. Came back and went through another war with him. So he fought Raymond Danger and Williams Zepeda twice. And then you get him, and he ain't no spring chicken. And before that, he wasn't even that active. So you sparked that guy out. Okay, kudos for you. Was that fool's gold, or was that wear and tear on Farmer, right time? We don't know. You get JoJo with a war. He just had a war with Regis. He's getting ready to get him with a war off of Regis Prograis. And Regis Prograis is shot, right? I mean, and he one of my guys. I like Regis, but Regis is shot right now. I don't know what he doing. I don't know why he boxing. You know what I'm saying? But he was getting ready to get JoJo. We know JoJo had a history with the bottle. Like, that was going to be another older guy that you probably was going to spark him. I'm probably going to say, I'm leaning towards, you was going to spark him, right? So is that fool's gold? And this is what I'm asking. When he get in there with somebody that's the real deal and he suffers a loss, or because he has been dropped before, you know what I'm saying? Lord forbid he get what happened like what Tank did to Frank Martin. Let's say that happened to him. With the way he's acting, is the fan base going to be tolerant of him to come back with these shenanigans? You got to think about that. If he get a blemish, are the fans going to be as forgiving with him? Because they already want to get rid of him. Like Papa Schofield is like a thorn in everybody's side.
Yeah, I think if he loses, and he loses in the fashion of a bad stoppage or whatever, and people actually see, because to me, a Floyd Schofield loss is going to come to us visually in layers. We're going to see what's going on in the ring, and we're going to see the mental breakdown of his pops in the corner. You feel what I'm saying? His pops going to be cursing at him, probably try to hit him, and a whole bunch of shit. And at the end of the day, people are going to be asking, once they see those breakdowns, they're going to say, all right, bro, we might accept you back and we can understand a certain thing, but we're not going to accept you back as the dynamic duo of father and son type thing that was existing before. That shit is not healthy for the visuals of boxing. That shit is just not healthy at all, because we saw to a certain degree how many fans took sides. That kind of split boxing when Floyd and his pops was going through stuff. So with this type of situation, it's gonna be visually more fucked up, because they don't have the professionalism and the money behind them to not act like niggas on a camera when the shit hits the fan. Just like we saw the Keyshawn crash out, this shit's gonna be worse. So that's what that for me, the loss is gonna be in layers like that, and I hope not. You feel what I'm saying? I really, really hope not. But if it does happen like that, it might be a blessing for Schofield to just, now I'm just gonna focus on my career. That's still my dad. I'm still whatever. We may not live in the same house anymore, but at the end of the day, he's still my dude. I still fucks with him. We still hang out and everything else. But I can't have him with with me professionally at the capacity he was at with me in my boxing career. So moving forward, a loss, he might disappear, he might crash out, or he might separate. His shit is
Uh,
a toss up.
I want to say two things about this, right? First of all, the optics about this, how people are looking at it, and myself included, is that by you I mean Schofield Sr., you're writing all these checks that your boy has to cash in the ring, right? And the moment that doesn't happen, it's going to be a real problem, because you made sure of that, right? But with that being said, like, playing devil's advocate a little bit here, like, don't you want to be sure that your kid is ready for the big time, for the big dogs? And a way to make sure of that is to see what happens with all these grizzled veterans. You know, we already saw Tevin Farmer. Okay, that's one win. I don't think that was as huge a win as people make it out to be, but nevertheless, it was a first-round stoppage. I don't know if that's ever happened to Tevin Farmer in the past. Okay, kudos to him, but I'm not completely sold on Kid Austin, because, like you said, his fight before that was the Rene Giron fight, right? And he had a lot of problems there. So I'm not sure. And you shouldn't be either if you're on his team. Now, they can tell you what they want, but obviously they got to play the game. They got to make their money. But in your heart of hearts, you can't be sure that this guy is ready for even Raymond Murataya, let alone a Tank or a Shakur, right? So get as much activity as you can. Get as much. You don't get better at something by not doing it. You got to get out there and fight and rack up some wins and pick up some experience and some craftiness and this and that, because I mean, I don't know, man, I don't know, something wrong with that picture. I think it's gonna come crashing down on him, because you want to go through this B plus level fighters before you get to the A levels. That's how I see it, you know, but I could be wrong.
No, great perspective though. Great perspective. I'm there too. Like, you start questioning. Like, you leave when you do that, and then I'm looking at it, because I like the fact that he wiped away the multitude of sin with the Tevin Farmer. So I give him a lot of credit for how he did it, how emphatic it was. But I do consider the state of Tevin Farmer when he came in there. It's like he just went through the ringer. He fought all the young guys. He did what I wanted somebody like Shakur to do, take one of them guys out.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant point. When you put on the what Tevin Farmer was coming from, the Raymond Murataya and the two Zepeda fights, he's pretty much been put through the wood chipper. Tevin has been. So all things considered, I gotta see a little bit more. I don't know if you go straight up against a Lucas Body or someone like that, personally. But that's just me, bro. I wouldn't do it. I would rack up one, maybe two more wins, and then, okay, now we're sure. But
that's gonna be a good fight. Because they got bad blood. They got a little bit of bad blood. They got a little history. They've been going back and forth over the last couple years. And Body's gonna have to be patient, because he just saw what happened. But they both, like, that fight can go either way. I think that's a good fight if it happens. You know what I'm saying? But what's up, AJ?
Schofield definitely need to fight soon.
yeah, when you're in that stage, bro, look at Abdullah. I'm glad you brought up Abdullah. Look at Abdullah. Abdullah fights all the time.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, he may get dropped here and there, and this and that. Bro, that's a good thing, bro. That's a good thing. Get in there, get dropped, get roughed up, get this, and because guess what? As soon as you know that feeling, the better it is for you, man. Because you are gonna know that feeling sooner or later. So yeah, get in there, bro. You don't get better at something by not doing it. That's the bottom line.
Mm, I just want to know if his dad, if he ever left his dad, what would happen? Because his dad whole world is him.
I don't think he needs to leave him. I actually, it's funny that you bring that up because I was saying that for the longest time, and then I pumped the brakes and I was like, listen, I don't know if he should leave him. I just don't think he should let his dad just take over his whole career like that. He's too involved. Like, I don't think I've seen any, not even Bill Haney. Well, maybe, but you know, for the most part, you don't see people's dad, you know, taking up that much of their sons. You know, you got a voice of your own, bro. It's time, bro. It's time you become that man that we all know that you should be. And I'm not saying you gotta kick your dad out of there, but you know, just be my dad. Don't be this whole other stuff because it's not. I don't think it's working out for you. Now the results are contradicting me, but I don't know. I don't like it.
Well, you got to think. It's a couple people that's not. They doing the Bill Haney. They doing the Bill and Devin, you know, route. And for people like with the fathers that talk all of that, like people got a little battle worn with how Bill did it. And Bill got away with it. You know what I'm saying? Because he did it early and he developed a cult like following. It's people like the Norman, like Brian Senior. He catch a lot of flack because of who came before him and how braggadocious it was. I think people are kind of like they trying to push back from that. They want you to do more now. What helps out Brian Senior is the type of fighter that Junior is. So he's been active. He's been sparking people. And then when he talk, he's not, you know what I'm saying? He's not like that. So that kind of covers a multitude of sin. But like now, people are getting a little. People don't want to hear all of that, especially like from the Schofields. And then, you know, I'm sad to say, but like it is kind of like feminine energy. Like people gonna roast him because he talks soft, and you know what I'm saying. And the way he be, you know, it was a comedian who did him. He sounded just like him. I was laughing.
Coach Malachi have. Oh man, Coach Malachi ripped his ass, teared his ass off, bro. He did. He can.
Bro, in that last interview with him in the white pants with his leg crossed in the white shirt, it was just like, you know, I'm like, bruh, the way you sitting in the chair laid back like that, that's like,
yeah. Hey, see, I told you, but
yeah, bro, that energy.
I told y'all, Bonnie, I told you too. You know who he is at the cookout. He the uncle. You know what I'm saying? He the auntie that's really an uncle, but we don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? He like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? He just got there, like, bro, you know, like, just, you know what? Just hurry and make your plate and go sit down.
Yeah, like nobody wants to be the asshole. Nobody wants to say it, but we all know what's going on.
Yeah, nobody want to fight your cousin because your cousin could fight his ass off, and that's his pop.
Exactly.
But listen, here's the thing. He should have never told me that everybody in your family, your brothers, your dad, your uncle, all them box and can fight. You the one that went to jail for shooting. Oh, so you the one who can't fight. So you the one who wear ass whoop and get mad and go get the gun. Okay, know who you is.
Right. Spot on.
Know who you is. You know what I'm saying? You probably was, you know, winning, and then when you lost one, you couldn't take it.
Yeah, it's like that pussy that it's like that dude that hangs around a bunch of tough dudes because he know they got their back, so he gets away with the loud mouth and shit like that. We all know. But yeah, I mean, what do you think? Who said that? I think it was Smoke Session. Do you think he should get rid of him all the way? Because I mean, or do you think he should just stay at like a promoter like type of role and just market his son? Because not for nothing, in that role, I don't think he's so bad.
It's the problem is you give him as the promoter, you give him the ability to talk. If he could be a promoter and not talk, and let Schofield talk, then okay, people won't have a problem.
Yeah, that's
impossible.
You feel what I'm saying? But he wants to be the Eddie Hearn. He wants to be the Don King. You feel what I'm saying? He wants to be the Lou Duva. all the classic dudes that used to do most of the talking for the fighter and say, let me do the job of promoting you. All I want you to do is get in the ring and put these motherfuckers' head to sleep. You know, but that's not where he wants to be. He feels he has a lane in part of his son's stardom. They're the dynamic duo. I'm the mouthpiece, you're the muscle. And that's going to be the hardest part to actually say, all right, where does his dad role begin and end? You feel what I'm saying? With Brian Norman, with Brian Norman, his dad's role is, I'm more the dude's trainer / manager. I talk, but we got a promotional company, and when a promotional company don't promote my son, that's when I step in.
He signed to Eddie Hearn. He just not Eddie Hearn. He signed to Oscar De La Hoya. He just talk some more, and look and sound so Jesus. Anyway, nah, man. I want to see him get in the ring and fight somebody the way he be talking.
You want to see, he gonna put Vaseline on his face, tie his dreads back in a ponytail.
Like, I just
Oh, for God's sake!
I don't. You know what? I don't even like because dudes with dreads gonna be like, man, don't be putting him over here with us. Dudes with dreads are like, nah, he just be like the whole Shakur shit. I was just like, you know what, bro? I think I'm probably gonna unsubscribe from y'all channel. I don't even know nothing they be doing. I don't watch them on Mill City. I don't watch them on none of that, bro. I ain't seen them on. Nope. Nah. I was just gonna wait until like the fight and then see how he look. But look, lo and behold, he look like he put his hand somewhere he wasn't supposed to. And he got them bumps on his hand. That's what it looked like. Bro, you can't even tell if that's even him. Unless he, you know what I'm saying? Like, go stand in the mirror and let me see that. I don't know. You could have showed the dude. You could have showed your little hand. I don't know what hand that was.
But y'all missing the point. Yeah, but y'all missing the point that. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
I just said I'm gonna put him in the doghouse until they perform again, man. I mean, I like Kid Austin. You know what I'm saying? It's just this era where they feel like, okay, this is how I gotta promote. Like, they think because it's sensational and people listen to what he said. His father is smart enough to know what he's doing. I just don't think that you gotta go that route. You got Oscar,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying, and then you got Opportunity. You can go sit down for a little while, and when you perform, then you pop your head out. That's more respectable. Because I say this, and I'll let you have it, AC. I say this all the time. Abdullah Mason's name is in every conversation when you talk about up and coming, when you talk about how to act, when you talk about what we want to see in the ring, we talk about adversity and all that, and he don't do none of that. So I'm like, the excuse that you got to promote in this manner, I'm not buying it. Like, you can do that when you lack talent. Like, I think what happens is the more you got to do that crazy stuff, the less talent you have in the ring because you're masking something. Like, you don't have to do that. If you show up and show out in the ring, you conduct yourself, you do your little interviews, you know what I'm saying? You have your little outlets where you can sit down and talk and get a little stuff out. That's all you need. You don't got to do all this extra shit.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring something back. It's just a short trip through history. Many, maybe just a couple of us on this panel remember the TV show Dallas. Remember watching our parents and everyone sitting down watching Dallas. And when JD got shot, that shit was in the news. It was everything. Who shot JD? Who shot JD? Who was actually JD on the TV show Dallas? He was the villain, the guy that all America hated. So you can be a villain. The villain role doesn't mean you're the bad guy. The villain or the antithesis is the guy that's most hated. So for me, sometimes you just got to look at the dude and say, okay, what lane are you trying to pull off here? Are you trying to pull off the most hated lane? Because I think that's the lane you're trying to do, because this is where you understand. As long as they hate you, they're going to talk about you.
I don't think he in that lane, AC.
But understand what I'm saying. He's vibing for that lane, just like we keep
I
talking.
think you're right.
Just like we be talking that Shakur and Dev are trying to enter the villain lane. Oh, we're this generation's villains. But you guys are both of you guys don't seem to have that authenticity to you. The shit that Floyd Schofield dad is doing, it's like he understands stories. It's like he was the kid that was sitting there watching Dallas with his parents and shit like that, or the girl parents, and he was watching Dallas and he understood how JD made America hate him, a fucking figure that wasn't even real. It was just an actor playing a role, but you had the entire country hating you. So when you choose to go down that road, you could say things and you could do things, but when you weigh the outcome and when the smoke clears, you say, okay, he pulled out of the Jojo Diaz fight. But now, in hindsight, if we're going to use that as an example, you're talking about fighting Lucas Body. So if I had to put this shit on a scale and say, am I pissed off more that you pulled out of the Jojo Diaz fight, or am I pissed off more that you're fighting Lucas Body? And when you look at it, and I'm not trying to make excuses for the guy, but I think I see something in the avenue he's trying to take. And if that's the avenue he's trying to take, you just carved out a whole new lane in boxing. To whereas only a few fighters were able to wear those shoes. One of those fighters was Mitch Green. You feel what I'm saying? So when you look at it, you like, let me use a little bit of history here. What is the end game for you? How did we get here? When you left your house, how did you come and make the trip to where you are right now? And I think you took the lane. You came to the crossroad. You had three paths you can take. You feel what I'm saying? One was to just stay true to form. The other one, the villain role. The other one, Kid Schofield, America loves you, blah, blah, blah. Or the most hated.
He ain't gonna be that neither. He gonna be the most disrespected.
Look at Rowdy Piper.
He ain't Rowdy Piper.
Oh my goodness! Come on,
Most hated. The motherfucker got movies after that, bro.
AC. He's not Rowdy Piper, bro.
No, he's not. He's not.
The man.
His dad.
No, his dad ain't that neither. His dad is.
What was both together? It's not Piper.
What was the promoter that had the little short chubby guy? He had the beard. He had the nasty beard. He had the rubber bands around his beard. He had the piercing through his cheek with the rubber band around it. And then you had the skinny dude, the mouth of the South, with the bullhorn.
Jimmy Hart?
Yeah, Jimmy Hart. What I'm saying is Floyd Schofield's dad sees himself as Jimmy Hart. He sees himself as JD.
Okay, now we're talking.
He sees himself as all of these guys. And in this era, it fucking works. People hate this motherfucker. So it's fucking working.
Yeah, but you gotta know how to play that game too. No.
He's playing the game. Look at y'all. He playing the game.
Do you think so? Man, like I don't know, man.
I mean, we don't like it, but I see what you said. We don't like it, but it's working. It is working.
It's the era of the bots and the trolls and the Twitter handlers and all that. That's who was getting the attention for the boxers, bro.
Yes. But he's boxing's troll right now. He's the one that's here to piss you the fuck off. And his son, when he pisses you off enough, guess what? The fights that his son gonna be watching, they automatically know. People are not tuning in because they want to see my son win. They want to see my son get his ass kicked.
People are not tuning in because they ain't gonna know when he's fighting.
You know who's good at that?
You giving this guy a whole bunch of credit that he not, bro.
You know who was good at that, AC? You know who was Piper?
He's not on the heavyweight. He's not even on the United States level, bro. He's on like the the I just got here level. He ain't nobody, bro.
That's
Them
true.
But look at how y'all
artifacts,
talk
You know-
about him.
you
Look
know
at
who
your
was
disdain
Piper?
for him.
But AC, you know who was Piper?
He's the
you know-
third dad, like out of if you like any dad, right about that. Like who you like him more than any? You like him like you hate him more than Tio dad? No.
No
Do
way.
you hate him more than Devin dad? No. Do you hate him more than Brian Norman dad? No.
Yes.
Do you hate him more than even Benavidez dad? No. So like, who is he again? He's Tubi, bro.
You know who was good at that? You know who?
Man.
You know who
You
was
giving this
Piper?
dude
AC.
credit.
TikTok
You know
shot.
who was Piper? AC. Angel Garcia.
Timu, man. He's Tubi and he a bad Tubi movie.
Alien Express,
Angel
man.
Garcia, bro. Angel Garcia was Piper. Angel Garcia played that game the right way, bro. He will piss you off, bro. Like Angel Garcia to me is one of the best at it. But this guy, I mean, and I wanted to respond to something you said. You said that he said that we didn't pull out of that fight. Their commission pulled us out of that fight. I mean, are we forgetting all the shit that you said about Shakur, about this and that? I mean, not to mention your son being in the hospital. Are we forgetting about all of that? I mean, we're talking about him because that's the topic right now. It's not like everybody is making, I don't know. I don't know if this is the right
But
move, bro.
the point I'm making is simply this. He figured out the lane. He's entering that lane.
That's
When
bad.
you talk about, certain things, and when you look at the picture stepping back and then take a snapshot of the entire room, the whole landscape, you see that this dude is moving in a certain way to whereas he's going to fill that lane within a different way. See, the hate that Bill Haney created, right? Bill Haney created that hate because there's a certain amount of fan base that believes your son is a great boxer. You feel what I'm saying? Respects your son as a boxer. Your son was there, right? But then we saw you burn bridge after bridge after bridge after bridge when it came down to dealing with certain gyms and coaches, and then you're trying to build your name off of X, Y, and Z. This is where, to a certain degree, your shit is, to me, it's not on the same level, because a lot of people can see right through Bill Haney and they say, Bill and your son Devin, both of you dudes are phony. If you would have just took the Richie Rich route, okay, we would believe you, yada, yada, yada. When you look at what they're doing, because they've been this way since day one, it seems that as though they may have a situation of genuineness to it. That people don't like your father. People don't like your father's mannerisms. They don't like the way your father talks. They don't even like some of the hyperbole shit that your father says. You feel what I'm saying? Because it doesn't match what we see so far from your son's boxing skill. Overall, when you look at how he's masking all of this, this is why you become the most hated, because you can choose lower competition and people are tuning in to see you lose. In this Brian Norman fight, there's a good portion of people who feel Devin Haney's going to win. They feel he can win simply because they don't like Brian Norman. That's not the case with Floyd Schofield. It's just cut and dry. So that's where I draw the distinction between at least them two. Some of the other names that you guys have brought up and stuff like that, I just don't see, whenever the names are brought up, the level of uncomfortability, the level of the groans, and let me call him Monty Schofield and every other name that's brought out. And to me, when I hear it, his strategy is working. Whether he's new or old, it's working.
Look, the big thing, we're gonna get off of Papa,
for sure.
But this the big thing is this. The reason why people are so irritated is because kid ain't done nothing yet in boxing. Like Danny, when you look at Danny and Angel, they did something. as much as you want to argue about Devin and them, they actually did something. Brian Norman and them, they did something. Like Kid ain't did nothing. You outright ducked Abdullah Mason, who is like the poster boy for boxing right now. You ducked him in $1 million payday. You pulled out of a fight with Shakur for a title. You know what I'm saying? Sit down and shut the fuck up and do something first, and then we can tolerate you. But like, you're right. He got us talking about him. It works, but that's why I'm saying this is the angst amongst people, is because you ain't did shit in boxing yet. You just annoying. Like everybody else that we even tolerate or we even think about, they actually done some shit already. You ain't done shit in boxing in the grand scheme of things yet. You made it up to be number one at the mandatory, but you done pulled out of 3 fights already. So shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Go heal, come out, beat up Lucas' body if you can body him. You know what I'm saying? Then holler at us. But like, I think they mastering it. They keep people letting them get on the platform for the likes, clicks, and the views. And the father is playing chess. Like when they step on a landmine and go boom, will the fans be as forgiving? I don't think so. I think they looking for the first reason to kick their ass out the whip. But that's it. That's all I really got on it.
Even AB did a few things in boxing, as much hate as he was able to craft and all of that. But we still respect Adrian Bruner because he actually did a few things. But yeah, just to piggyback on your point, you know, you gotta do something for us to be like, okay, so I understand. I may not like what you're saying, but you know, at least your boy is, you know, whatever, world champion or unification or whatever the case may be. You know, like I can rock with that.
Yeah, it's a difference between bragging and annoying.
So how do we sum up Edgar Berlanga and fighters like that?
Annoying.
He never did anything either. He's famous for getting his ass whooped by Canelo. That's where he's famous.
Annoying. What are you talking about, bro? Like,
Right.
He got humbled. Now he's a brand new man. He got humbled. Like I seen him doing some shit with a dog the other day. Like, bro, I'm like,
y'all picking up dog.
You out there in the park with your dog now, homie? Right. You know what I'm saying?
He got Hamza Shiraz looking like the second coming of Tommy Hearns or something.
But AJ, man, what's good, man? I know you missed a couple cooks, man. What's been going on, bro? Aaron Jones, what's going on?
Everybody, y'all been cooking the past couple of days, man. I was just busy with the family, that's all. But I caught the playbacks on all of them, man. And, you know, it's nothing but fire like usual, man. Cause I don't know, like the boxing world, man. It's like I really do want it to be number, because my favorite sport basketball, but so much stuff going on with that right now. Like I want boxing to be that number one sport. Cause like if you look at it, come on now, you got all these brand new fighters and all that. It's just the older, you know, the generation now that's bullshitting around, man. They just bullshitting. Like it's really, I say that like I think we said it's like a couple shows back. Where is it the promoters? Do we blame the promoters, or do we blame the network? Do we blame the fighters, bro? It's really the fighters to me at this point, because like with the Schofield situation, like it's like the father, he really want, like AC said, he really want everybody to hate him so bad. You can tell how he talk with that voice. He know y'all hate the voice now. Like AC was saying, he know what's getting everybody riled up. He know he talk. Now it's like he talk with an extra little sweetness to him.
Yeah, man, it's getting worse.
Yeah, with the mannerisms and all that. They know what's like really grinding people's gears. Like even I lie to you not, when I first clicked on the show, I seen a video of him explaining about the injury, talking about the doctor said no, don't do it, because why risk another couple more months of injury instead of just sitting on. I'm like, man, y'all gotta stop with that stuff, bro. If these injuries is as bad as y'all making it seem, like, come on now. I remember I'm not even old. Everybody older than me on the panel, but I could have sworn everybody forward. And then fucking Floyd Mayweather fought the one they said, who the one they said he lost against? Castillo. He fought him with an injury. Like, what the hell? Like, I don't get these boxes these days, bro. Like, not to bring it up or nothing, but I had just, like, it's pertaining to basketball, but I just placed a bet on Joel Embiid, and my friends telling me he on minutes restriction. I'm like, bro, what the hell is going on with sports these days, man? Like it's all soft and just it make you don't want to watch Nathan. I swear to you. But yeah, like it's I don't know, man. Like yeah, y'all been cooking these past couple days, especially when it comes to the your boy Shakur, man. Lord have mercy. That's another one. See, he's chasing that clout real bad. And I meant to tell you this, AC. Now that I'm on here, he didn't get no invite to the cap. Jake Paul and Envy said he invited what's his name, Montana Love and Raymond Ford. He said Shakur reached out to his team. Yeah. I'm like, bro, this has got to be like, what is wrong? Shakur don't have nothing to do right now. It's obvious, bro. I don't know what to make of his career right now. Like, I could say it's like a Demetrius Andre type situation, but he got more talent than Demetrius Andre, except for the knockouts and all that. But like, bro, you making the tank fight like less and less and less and less. Like I said before, bro, I never think I say I got more respect for Devin Haney for the fights he been taking over Shakur, bro.
But AJ, let me ask you this question because this is my conspiracy theory question. What if the move of sparring Jake and having that come out, what if this is the thing that actually puts him the closest to the fight, even when we were hearing the rumors that Tank reached out to him? Because we all know that, if you're in the know, then you know, even though those things were probably being said and stuff like that, that fight probably wasn't going to happen unless Shakur re-signed with Top Rank. So he probably used that initial conversation to try to cap off of it and, entertain the conversation knowing that I don't have a promotional company. So blah, 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 which then lends to a bunch of other stuff. But just on the fact of knowing certain things about that, about different situations with him, what do you think? What's your opinion? If I actually ask the question,
I think, in my honest opinion, don't get me wrong, I think Shakur actually wants to fight Tank, bro. I ain't saying he's scared or nothing, but to me, with that theory, what's gonna stop it is his peoples. Andre Ward, Terrence Crawford, and Carissa Shields. They know boxing like the back of their hand, bro. They telling that man, do not fight him right now. Wait till he shows some weakness. Wait till he get in a car accident. Wait till he slap up another girl. Wait till he get in jail for a little bit. He can't train. Just wait it out, bro. Just wait it out. I'm putting this on everything. I really, honestly, truly believe they tell him that. Because even Bodywork brought this up too. When he fought Auditorium, I think, or one of those fights, when Bud was trying to tell him what he was doing wrong and all that, and he didn't want to hear it and all that. Yeah, they got one with him. Like, they're gonna try to get him to wait Tank out. But Shakur's so star hungry and not money hungry, but like, clout hungry for the stars and the rappers and all that. He was that. See, Bud was never really tripping off of that. He just wanted with Earl had, which was the the selling out arenas and the notoriety and all that. but he never was really. He not really like that type. He like more like a. I ain't gonna say a square, but no, he don't really. He seemed like he ain't really into all that. But Shakur is. Shakur was the be at the fight with all the black stars all in the stand and all that. He want that. So this is where it's getting tricky because he got his handlers already named. They not used to it. Andre Ward, he was in the Mayweather era. He wasn't into that until after his career. Now you hear him talking about all this money and all that. Now you hear him talk about that. But when he was fighting, he was all about, collecting the belts and
Okay.
pound for pound.
But let me try to just bring this into play. Both Tank and Shakur have had somewhat of a spat or falling out with the Turk, right? The reason why I'm saying I think this is the closest he's actually getting, and if he's moving in this direction, then I can kind of like see the play. They both have had their spat or disagreements with the Turk, right? You don't have to rely on Turk's money to make the fight, right? You don't have to rely on Turk's money to make the fight. Number 3, I can't really understand whether you're trolling or whatever the case may be. What were you looking to gain by volunteering to help him do this, knowing that everybody's going to come back and say, if you did this, then why are you not trying to make a fight with the dude? You feel what I'm saying? Why are you two dudes not fighting? You feel what I'm saying? Number 4, you're not going to have any press conversations or press jump offs without the question in my mind going to Jake Paul talking about Shakur, going to Tank, how does Tank feel about Shakur doing this, and blah, blah, blah. So for me, it's the perfect recipe for why neither one of them have to deal with the Turk, have to deal with the Turk's term, all the bullshit with the Turk and everything. Both of them could get pretty much what they asking for this fight. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, it makes more sense to try to do it through MVP because they have the game plan on eyes.
Yeah, I agree with that, and also I agree with this. If they do fight, seeing how Amazon had put his foot in like sports, like, cause the NBA's on Amazon now, football been on Amazon for like I think 3 years now. They looking for that third, like that boxing. Maybe MLB will be on Amazon shortly, but I truly believe they looking for a boxer. But they already got PVC, but they looking for that boxing to hold that sport within the prime. They looking for that. So that fight will have to take place on, especially if quote unquote, I ain't really into that little, whatever it is, little exhibition. But if Tank knock out Jake Paul, go viral and all that, that's all that, everything, all these fighters, bro, there's no excuses, bro. They're gonna have to go to prime. Like, ain't no way around it. So Shakur gonna have to sign with the MVP, contrary to his big sis, Clarissa Shields, who refuses to do anything that make her bigger than what she is. She had to, I ain't want to sidetrack, but she had to sleep with a dude just to get any type of notoriety. But yeah, like I think that'll be cool. Like if he go through Jake, which he is, talking about he's gonna pick his brilliant mind. Man, that boy is phony. He knew what he was gonna do all the time, bro. He already know. I kind of seen the play when I seen him tweet that, talking about he gonna pick his brain. Boy, you ain't picking no brain. You trying to get up under Jake, and that's gonna look dumb to all the people that's saying, "Oh, this is a clown show." That. I'm talking about specifically his fans. Why are you ducking Shakur? He's gonna go straight to MVP, bro, and be the face of MVP prize. Cause
I got another bombshell. I've been sitting on to this one, man. Like I've just been holding this one and I say, okay, I'm gonna bring out this point about Shakur. Everybody, we did this. I done this when I did the Saw. When I did that Saw, let's play a game, Shakur. Nobody wants to fight Shakur, and I ran it down. But look at this. When Devin Haney didn't fight Shakur, right, on that whole debacle, whatever side you on, Devin's or Shakur, and he moved up, what belt did he have?
I believe Shakur had the WBO.
No, I'm saying no. Devin. When Devin moved up and he fought Regis, what belt did they have?
Wasn't that the WBA?
See.
Oh, the WBC.
Yeah, WBC.
So he used his belt to move up and challenge Regis, right?
Yeah.
So if Shakur couldn't get a fight and he was flirting with going up to 140, why didn't he use his WBC to move up one weight division and fight? Who got the WBC?
Bro, you know why, bro.
It's the Brooklyn Kid.
Yeah.
So if you was really gangster and you couldn't do that, like, so, you know, see, people play that game. Like, it's the same thing that we get on Boots because he had the WBA and the IBF. And they gave him a scapegoat with the WBA because they said, didn't Bud still hold it? And they played the politics and all that. It's like, no, if you were to petition with the WBA, now none of this stuff is automatic. You still got to petition and it has to get approved. But that is your fast track. So they look it over. And they say that if it's good for the business of boxing, they'll do it. That's how the WBC is.
Yeah.
So if you really wanted to, what you could have did was use your WBC and go up and fight Sabril, and it wouldn't have been no issue. Like if you really flirt with it, because think about it. He took us all around the Marbury Bush talking about he was going to fight. First it was Conor Benn. He sized him up and it was all on Ariel Helwani. This is why I don't listen to it. I listen to what he said just to know so I can just kick these dumbass fans in the ass when I get a chance. But I don't listen to what he say and I don't hold it of no regard because at first it was Conor Benn. And then it was all T.O. T.O. was never in the mix. Like T.O. was there for Richardson Hitchens. Like Richardson Hitchens beat Cambosis, stopped him to the body, called out Teofimo Lopez, who was in the crowd, and then said, fuck the Haneys, because Bill and them went there. And they was harassing him at the weigh-in. He did what he was supposed to do. Devin and them distracted T.O., so that's what should have happened there. It was never no talk of no Shakur, no T.O. This is a motherfucking smoke screen. You trying to get your way up. You trying to get your ass up out of 35 because it's motherfuckers on your ass. Like you got Oshaki Foster getting ready to do what he did, and he already told you, if when I win this, I'm coming up there. Ain't gonna be nothing because that's the way he was gonna do it.
He been chasing him.
So Oshaki was gonna use his WBC to do it. That's why I say fans be acting like they dumb. I said we got a lot of full-time, partially thorough-ass niggas out here online because nobody connect these dots. It takes for somebody like me to point this out, then it's, oh man, you hate, man, you pretty. And then they come out like 2 weeks later saying the same shit. It's like, no, he had a clear path. Shakur got options. He could fight a whole bunch of people. It's like, why he gonna push it? So 1 minute when it come down the tank, something wrong with his hand. Next minute, oh, ain't nothing wrong with my hands because he was gonna fight Lamont Roach straight up. It wasn't no, oh, I gotta wait for my hands to heal. Because he fought in July. What like I feel like Scary Movie. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? It's like, what are you waiting for? You gonna put all your eggs in a T.O. basket? T.O. didn't want no Brian Norman. T.O. was saying he wanted the boots. He was out chasing Bud at one point. It's like, you gonna put all your eggs in that T.O. basket and you got all your little minions that you could just do like this with, and they're gonna be like, oh yeah, Shakur, he's just the best in the world. It's like, no, man, we respect your skills, we respect your style, you know what I'm saying? But like when it comes down to smoke, you are selective with the smoke. It's just like you arbitrarily wanted to pick Isaac Pitbull Cruz at one point in time out of everybody. I'm like, why Isaac Pitbull Cruz? You know, it's like everybody want to fight him because he don't even belong in 140.
bro. But
So long story short, Shakur could do the same thing O'Shaquie was getting ready to do to him. O'Shaquie was getting ready to use his WBC. Once he beat Fulton, he gonna use his WBC to get with the sanctioning body. And then if they say it's good for the best, you gotta get approved by the commission. But that's his way to get Shakur to do it. So it'll have to get approved, but that was his thing. That's the same thing Devin did to get Regis. It's the same thing O'Shaquie was going to do to get Shakur. Shakur could have did that shit to get Sabrina Matias. Welcome to the 140 division. Liam Pyro already beat him. You the best thing since sliced bread, so you can outbox him if Liam Pyro did it, right? Since you gonna beat shit down to your leg, right? Right.
Nah, because he never sparred him. If you look at the majority of Shakur opponents, although he says he don't like to fight guys he sparred, guess what? The majority of guys he fought, he sparred.
Right.
So, it's just that little bit of information. But for me, it's just sad to see that type of talent make those kind of moves. You know what I'm saying? Because I just looked at, you know, what you were saying and things like that. Yeah, he definitely could use his WBC to go straight up and fight Sabril, but when he was asked to fight Sabril Matias, he said no. He said no, I don't want to fight him. I want to spar him. And then when Sabril responded to that whole thing, he then said, you know, at the end of the day, I'm a 135 pounder, but you're willing to go up to 140. But you're willing to go up to 140 to fight Teofimo Lopez.
Oh man, that sounds kind of familiar, man. When somebody said, "No, man, it's weight class for a reason, man." No, I mean, I'll go to this weight class for a reason. Then like what 6 months later, yeah, I'll go up, and I remember putting my feet in Charlie Murphy's couch. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, so, you know, at the end of the day, boxers are gonna, you know, this business is gonna move in weird ways, you know.
AC, real quick, to put Bodywork's point. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm on Twitter a lot, so I be saying a lot of things. It wasn't no talk of Theo and Shakur, honestly, until Tank was ready to announce that Jake Paul fight, bro. Because as soon as it was like rumblings of that going on when he wasn't fighting Lamar Roach, because he was saying like I think they hear about that stuff way before we do, bro.
Absolutely.
I swear I put on everything, because as soon as he announced that fight, it seemed like he just threw away that whole Lamar Roach idea. It was like so focused on T.O. He was tweeting out, he was like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting my whole life just for this and all that. Like, it's like when Tank announced something, he gotta like match it to like keep his name like relevant or something like that. Cause I could have sworn, bro, he was trying to fight Lamar Roach, which is crazy, bro. Cause if you can fight him, you can fight Tank, or you can fight anybody, bro. Like his handlers, his fans, his bots, anybody, they do a good job of like masking his when he tweets, cause that's what he do. He tweets a lot, and like they just mask the contradictories he does. Like,
but we still
go ahead.
Still ain't got a solid explanation of why two fighters that didn't have a predetermined setup. You feel what I'm saying? The two fighters that were that recently fought, I don't understand, and I never really saw any legitimate reasoning for why, even if you didn't do it at Alcatraz, why couldn't Richard Hitchens get his shot fighting in a unification fight with Teofimo Lopez? Being that that's the fight that y'all was telling us was next. So the
that's what I thought was
Yeah,
My
so
bad.
the location, okay, the location didn't work out, but the fight is why people are people want to what people want to see. I don't think many people really give a shit that the fight is going to happen in an old jail. You feel what I'm saying? An old jail museum or whatever. But I think for the most part, people are more excited about just the fight itself. So on that side note, it's like, okay, Turk, are you ever going to give us a solid reason on why that fight didn't happen?
Yeah, man. Like I don't agree with a lot of stuff Coach Kenny say sometimes, but it is true. Like he was talking about Shakur, and like somebody reposted it, and he said, "Why do all these 135s run from the division just to go to 140 and fight the same fighters they could have fought at 135?" Like y'all, he don't go up there for Sabril, like Bodywork just said, Gary Antoine. Uh, hey man, there's a whole bunch of 140s up there. You go straight for CO, like bro, that's your supposed to be your man. That's what I'm saying. Like they got us, like the nice nigga. I don't know why Keyshawn just let that man son him like that, bro. Like that, cause all that brother stuff and oh yeah, that's my man. That's my brother. I never fight with bro. Yeah, Richardson Hits is his man. Richardson Hits is they came up together too. Just like he say all the rest of them do. And you gonna step on your man's toes like that, trying to get a fight over him. You that's just come on, bro. Like that fight, I'd rather see that fight. The
Look, I'm about to tell you why, AJ. Look, because a picture is worth 1,000 words. This is why he said T.O. This is why. I'm gonna show you. Watch. He don't want no smoke with the dude from the WBA. He could use his WBC to go right up. He could get with the WBC. Because if he said, hey, I want that smoke with Gary Antoine already replied about that. He was like, hey, he kind of let him down gently, you know what I'm saying? But he basically let him know, like, listen, if you want it, you can get it. He could use his WBC to get with Sabril Matias, but he already know. That's like Williams Zepeda. Man, that's Williams Zepeda, like bigger, longer, stronger, like more deadly. Like you seen what happened to him with Williams Zepeda? Like if he do that with Sabril, come on, bro. He gonna play the friend game with Richardson Hitchens. So who else could he do? Like T.O. And then what are they saying about T.O. right now? Think about it. What do we always say about T.O.? What do people in general always say about T.O.? Oh, we don't know where his head space. We don't know what direction he is. He unsure. Yeah. Why would you put your egg in that basket and he's unsure? T.O. was attached to all these different names, and he just got screwed over by Turkey and them because he had a contract. And when Devin lost, when Rolly beat Ryan, that was a chain reaction of everything. That knocked everything off Asman for him, and they tried to fuck. Even though I don't care that they did this, I just know that it happened. They fucked over T.O. by doing it because T.O. was supposed to get Richardson Hitchens. Richardson Hitchens beat Kambosos, and he was a free agent. Turkey said he didn't want to work with him if he wasn't under Eddie.
Oh man!
So they basically shitted on Richardson Hitchens, and they shitted on Teofimo because they said, well, we'll pay you this money for Boots, but Boots didn't want to fight T.O. He wasn't going to stand around. Like they would have gave him the same $9 million if he would have fought Devin or he would have fought T.O. He didn't want to fight Devin.
Oh, 147.
He didn't want to fight. Yeah, he still had his 40. He still had his belt at 40, but he didn't want to fight Devin. For only way he was gonna get the $9 million was if he fought Devin or if he fought Boots. But he was like, hold on, man, we had a deal, we had a contract, which T.O. was right. They had a deal, they had a contract. He was supposed to get Richardson Hitchens after Richardson Hitchens stopped Kambosos. That was supposed to happen. Why you think T.O. was out there at the fight? He was out there at the fight in the stand, but they had already talked to Turkey and them, and the numbers wasn't right. So they fucked T.O. over on the numbers. Like they wasn't gonna give him the $9 million. He like, hold on, we had an agreement.
Oh yeah,
so they fucked him. So now he looking around for somebody that's worthy of it. He already said no to Brian Norman. Brian Norman go ahead and link up with Devin. because Devin was a man without. He was playing musical chairs too, and he got caught with like basically with nowhere to run to, because with Ryan losing, right? He don't want to fight Rolly. And he didn't want to move up and fight Boots. Boots and them, they offered some funky shit, like fighting at 152 or some shit, like, you know what I'm saying? It was like just some weird shit, you know what I'm saying? He didn't want to do that, and he wasn't gonna get the kind of money to fight anybody else, so he basically had to fight Norman. So they all got caught, in the people that got fucked, like the person who got fucked the hardest was Richardson Hitchens, because they blackballed him. I'm getting ready to do a video on this shit. They blackballed Richardson Hitchens, and T.O. coming in second, because T.O. got options, but because of him saying Turkey was a dictator and all that, he kind of got it to where he cornered him. He put himself in a corner to where it's like, okay, well, you did insult me. I know I'm fucking you over by not honoring my side of the contract, but you did insult me. And them people are vindictive. They wasn't going to let him get away with insulting him like that, you know what I'm saying, without it being no repercussion. That's almost why Devin and them gotta fight Brian Norman. Like, you think this ain't no option? This shit is not this wasn't an option. This was like, basically, you gonna fight him or we ain't paying you for shit. We ain't gonna pay you to do what you did with Jose Ramirez. You got to get in there with a killer. You gonna fight Boots, T.O., or Brian Norman? Which one?
I heard they doing Canelo like that too. Like, he ain't got no
it kind of
choice.
makes sense, because shit, you take a motherfucker for 150 grand. I mean, for 150 million, and you do something like that.
Yeah, Sean Porter is one of them said it. They said he ain't got no choice about, like, he got to fight a killer and a killer, because like, even when he said about that no running rule, we don't want to watch nobody run around the ring and all that. He's a real dictator, man.
Well, here's the thing. The original rumblings were you signed a $400+ million deal with Turk. You feel what I'm saying? To whereas, all right, one of the fights was with Skull, right? We saw the outcome of that. Then the second fight, that's where you were going to get your big payday with Bud. So you still owe us 2 fights. And do remember, this contract number may or may not include what we had to do with PBC to get you out of that Jake Paul situation. So at the end of the day, people don't write checks like that without strings attached. That's just the way this shit goes. So however people want to say whatever, and this and that, you know, when a person writes you a check like that, they got expectations. And you don't want to be on the side of them suing you or saying, I want my fucking money back.
That sugar daddy gonna want some sugar, man. But look, it's probably some crazy shit like Benavidez's name probably popped up again, and fucking Hamza Shiraz probably popped up. Like, you gonna have to fight. Like, you think it's sweet? I told you he gave everybody that black magic, and they've been chasing the dragon ever since.
Look at Wilder. Man, look at Wilder. He gave that man 2 fights back to back. He got knocked out.
Jared, look at what they did to Jared. Jared still can't find his way, man.
I ain't gonna lie. He knocked his. Woo, boy. Lord have mercy.
That's why I said people didn't know what they were clamoring for, and they thought that, oh yeah, like, you know, it's sweet. And see, this is another thing why this is why your boy think he's so slick. I said this, man. I said, listen, I give it to you. He kind of smart. He kind of smart because he's seen the writing on the wall. Because guess what? You keep fucking around with Turkey and you being one of his guys, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna get matched tough. You're gonna get matched tough. Like, you're gonna be in there with somebody that you ain't got no business like that you didn't really want to be in there. Like you gonna be in there with somebody that, okay, we think you Eddie talking that you the best fighter in the world shit. So we gonna put you in there and make you prove it. You don't think Shakur knew that? So why you go over there and you with Eddie at Matchroom, but y'all up under Turkey armpit? Why are you going over pursuing a dude that's with Top Rank? Wasn't you on Top Rank? Why are you pursuing T.O., an unstable dude? That don't make no sense. Because you know that Turkey was getting ready to match your ass tough. Turkey was probably looking at a Sabril Matias or something, especially since you opening up your mouth talking about you will go to 140. Oh, Turkey like, oh, you will, my friend.
Yeah.
Come here. I'll get you in there with Gary Antoine. Like, I'll get, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to fight. And see, you got friends. You got barriers already. So Riddles and Hitches like your friend, right? Keyshawn like your friend. Okay, you trying to big boy Abdullah, like that's like little bro, but Abdullah ain't having it. Okay, so you already limit some of the options. So we gonna match you tough then. We gonna give you what you want. Now you gonna have to fight somebody, man. Like it wasn't gonna be like that forever.
Yeah, I was saying that, like, when he first started making fights, I'm like, damn, you know, he is messing on tough. Like, I don't want to watch no born fight or whatever. But I'm like, God damn. When Big was fighting that dude, Brody, whatever his name is, I'm like, that dude, even though he ain't, moving around this, that, and third, when he swing, you could probably, like, if you was sitting in the front row, you probably could feel that wind. When that man was swinging them hooks and them uppercuts, man, I'm like, boy, he trying to bob and weave them things, but as soon as he clipped them, I'm like, oh my gosh, this ain't no joke, and I ain't even know him. I ain't know no Brooklyn. I ain't know no Perez.
Because he got a bad habit, man. Like, you cannot fight a guy like the worst habit you could have against a guy like Bacoli is back and straight back. It's like you're not gonna win. That's what he was
doing the whole time, by Ray. I was like, bro, you keep trying to he gonna connect that thing, bro. As soon as he did, bro, that chin switched off, bro. I'm like, oh my god. And the same thing with with Canelo. Like he put his ass in there with Bud. With a little ass Bud, bro, you was better off fighting fucking Benavidez, man.
That's what I said, bro. That shit aged terrible. You might have well got your ass beat for 150, like
150 million, man. I'm telling you, because that's a bad look.
Yeah, because it don't look now. Now you really been exposed, bro. You've been exposed. Bro. That's just there ain't no way around it. You've been exposed, man.
Even what's his name? Aaron Gomez. He had to spill the beans. He said we try to keep him away from them type fighters. Turkey put his ass in there.
so guess who else was vindicated, AJ? I was vindicated because I've been said the nigga was on. He had a great vineyard.
Yeah.
I've been said. I said, man. So now the truth come out. Like it's like, duh, we knew that, but all the people we been knew that.
Yeah, he had to just say that right now, but. Come on, bro.
And now he has surgery in his arm. They got him with his arm. I said, come on, y'all got to stop this shit, man.
Every time. No, that's a bad look, man. That's a bad look. And like that nigga Turkey don't care, bro. He just wanna see that. He like it's like toys in a fucking playpen. He pick his favorite 2 toys out and let him rumble, cause he don't care. That's
hey, look, I told you. I don't know if you wasn't here earlier, but I said, man, he tried to line my man up. Now I got to do some. I gotta let some time go by. But my man Diego Pacheco, man, we hearing that Hamza Shiraz sent him something, and they said they ain't get back with him. And a week later, he getting ready to fight some dude. Like the dude got a decent record, but he ain't no Hamza Shiraz. I'm like, oh man, Turkey was getting ready to line his ass.
Yeah, bro.
He was gonna have to fight. Like you was gonna have to prove that you are who you say you are, daddy. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like they trying to line Tank up. they talking about all this Devin stuff. Nah, he was gonna put Tank in there with some big ass nigga or something, bro. Fuck Devin. Fuck that. Man, that he lines motherfuckers up. He knows that the promoters was overpaying these dudes. So what he do? Do the money in their face. Like, come on over here, bro. I got y'all. Whole time. We ready to make boxing great again. Like Trump saying, make America great. We ready to make boxing great again. Like, God forbid. Like I said, bro, I never thought I'd want to watch Devin Haney more than Shakur right now, bro. Cause Lord have mercy. Yeah, he put his ass in there with Godzilla.
Cause look, this is real right here. Look.
No bullshit, bro. no, for real, man. Cause
I said, look, man, I'm more excited about Devin. You notice I've been kind of quiet about Devin. Like, yeah, I talk my shit about him having a fight, but I've been quiet about Devin. I'm like, I got my fingers crossed because I swear, I'm like, until they say ding, 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 man, this nigga might pull a Schofield. You see how Schofield out of my hand? I'm just praying that this dude don't pull out, bro.
I was watching something yesterday when they said they tried the security guard tried to touch Brian Norman to put some steroid cream on him. I was like, yeah, bro, cause they know, man. I ain't lie. I watched his last 2 fights, bro. He do look good, no diddy. He do look good, yo. That Brian Norman. He ain't no robot like how they try to, propagandize him. He ain't robotic nothing. He actually, he got some moves with him. That's what I'm saying. You don't, even though it's just sparring, you don't go sparring wars with Tank for 15 rounds or however long they went. You don't go give Bud some work and everybody hearing about it and all that. Like no D riding though, but they actually said, he gave Bud some work and all that. You don't do all that and just be named mediocre or nothing like that. Stop trying to downplay that man like how y'all did Ryan. What y'all ain't learn y'all lesson? Because if you
exactly, Joe, bro, exactly, bro. I could not have said it better. I said y'all don't learn y'all talk about. I'm gonna show y'all that there's levels. I was like, do you recall the last time you said you was gonna show somebody that there's levels? What happened to you?
Yes,
I said you have not learned, bro. You still talking that shit.
Yeah,
it's like, all right, man.
It looked bad.
I said the same thing. I said you still talking. I'm gonna show you that there's levels to this. I'm like, come on, bro.
But it looks bad, bro. Because if
here's the funny part.
Your ass up. Oh, go ahead, Easy.
Here's the funny part. When I tell people or people who know me as a Devin Haney fan, and I start breaking down the parts that I see that get him knocked out, because people are like, whoa, yeah, I don't think Brian Norman has the skill to knock him out. When did he become a world beater like that? Well, he became a world beater like that when he went over to Japan and knocked Jin Sasaki the fuck out, to where that man lost weeks off of his shit. You can get knocked out, but we see dudes recovering a normal. When you get knocked out off a light looking punch, the punch didn't look like he like sat on it. You like really sat down on it and just delivered that shot. You feel what I'm saying? And that's the damage that his power has. And I give them the reasons. No one sits there and tells me the parts that I'm wrong and then give me the counter of where they see Devin doing what he does to win. You just say, oh man, yo, I can't believe you saying this about Dev and you not respecting the boxing ability of Dev. It's like, I am. And that's why I'm telling you everything that he does wrong is the thing that gets him knocked out by Brian Norman.
Hey, it's like this. It's like this. Remember I kept telling y'all that Greg Hackett told Cool Boy Steph that Naoya Inoue was a hype job, right?
Yeah, he told him.
He told him that he was. I said, man, y'all gotta stop. So imagine somebody telling Devin that, oh man, you levels above you levels above this Brian Norman Jr. He ain't got nothing on you, and then you got all the YouTube, all the people, all these little minions around saying, yeah, you know, he don't got nothing on you. You levels above. He's C-class. He never fought nobody like you. It's the same thing. It's like what Greg Hackett did to Stephen Coolboy Fulton times 1,000.
Hey, Bodywork. That nigga Devin had the whole LDBC in his locker room for Ryan, bro. Can you imagine
Yo,
the S they put on his chest?
you know what? When he came out and in the first 30 seconds he got dropped, you know who I thought about? I said this nigga nuts probably dropped down to his socks. You know what I'm saying? I said, man, this nigga gonna be crying in the car, man.
Oh, he had them in his locker room, bro. Matter of fact, at his hotel the night before and all that, bro. You can't have that many D-eaters in your ear like that, bro, before a fight. They put an S on that man's chest.
That nigga ran out to the middle of the ring, bang, you know what I'm saying? It was on. Like Donkey Kong. And they keep echoing the same thing. That's why I said this shit, man, this shit gonna be like Christmas for me, man. This shit going through, man. Because listen, they keep saying the same thing, y'all.
The same thing, bro.
Listen, they keep saying, what they say, they say that he levels, he ain't ever faced nobody like you, that he like his boxing skill. No, this the thing. They keep saying that all of the rounds that Ryan didn't drop him, that he won those rounds. Bro, and that's like their solid sticker point to where I'm like, okay, so in essence, you're basically saying that Devin is dumb as fuck, right? Like his boxing IQ is dumb as fuck, right? Because if you stuck to your game plan and you had discipline, so you're basically saying he's dumb and undisciplined. Because if he actually really won all of those rounds that y'all say he did, the ones where he didn't get touched, he would have stuck to that game plan. And then he wouldn't have said at the end when they interviewed him, the very first thing, and he said, so did the left hook surprise you? He said, yeah, it did kind of surprise me a little bit. I said, see, what are y'all talking about?
What rounds, bro? The rounds he did when, that's when Ryan was gassing out. Ryan came in that bitch fat. He was fat, bro. He was gassing out and took his foot off the pedal the ones he was winning. And that was the rounds he didn't knock him down in. He was just like wailing on him. That's how his face got messed up on the right side instead of that left hook. I watched that fight, bro. He ain't win no all rounds. Like, bro, it's like a mental illness to keep trying to. That's why I say it must be the same group of particular fans or listeners that only listen to him, because they keep having to say the same thing, bro. Why I say he won all, like, y'all just, man, I'm glad they down to their last hope or something, bro.
You know who propagate that stuff. You know what everybody going to listen and they just following that lead. And I'm like, man, y'all, you listen to me, Dave. If he would have been listening to me, he'd have been all right. But he'd be thinking, just listen to me sometimes, man. Cause that dude, they doing that Greg Hackett shit. They sending you, man, up shit creek without a paddle, man. And
I told you, Greg Hackett, he should be in the LDBC. I heard him say that he's a what did he say again about anyway?
That he was a hype job.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, how do you, like, you can't be no hype job knocking motherfuckers out, especially Nonino Donan. Come on, bro. That ain't nobody to play with. He went to Chief and there with him that first fight, especially. I'm trying to figure out why do they try, like, bro, it's okay to just let them fight and then talk afterwards. Y'all keep talking, hey, man, he levels above Brian Norman. Bro, can you let him fight first and show everybody that first so they can see it? And they're going to be like, oh, okay, yeah. Then when you say it, it's vindicated. Y'all let it go on and on and on. And then when you get in there, even if let's say even Devin Haney wins, but it's a split decision and he looks bad, everybody gonna still say the same thing. Well, damn, where's the left? They seem like they was neck and neck. He lost by a round. Like this is
But it doesn't age well for Devin because like you said, your level's above. He's not on your level. You're going to show everybody all of these different levels, and if the fight is close and it comes down to a split decision or something like that, then what does that say about Brian Norman's boxing? If he should be the one who doesn't win, what does that say? You feel what I'm saying? So one of the biggest things that many of the detractors of Devin Haney say that's pretty consistent, and I feel this way about many different fighters and stuff like that. Unless you find yourself on a consistent track, you feel what I'm saying, and you've been able to, wring the mop out well enough that you can do a quick dry mop of your floors, so you don't got dirty floors and stuff, which just means to me just clean up all your shit. Unless you come to that type of understanding about your career and who you are, and you figured out your style of boxing and the Devin Haney method and all of this other kind of stuff, then selling us on what you're going to do is the thing that's going to bring you the most criticism and stuff like that. And for me, I have to agree with the detractors of him because I'm still like, all right, Dev, you haven't yet gotten to the point. I know a person like me will say you're a hell of a boxer, but I haven't seen what I can call the Devin Haney style of Devin. Like, if I had to figure something out by your stance and everything like that, I'd say, yeah, that's Devin Haney. When you look at certain clips and you see Bud Crawford throw these hybrid type punches, then you say, yeah, but that's the Terence Crawford style. It's a hybrid of boxer, puncher, this and that you just don't know what you're gonna get. Plus the dude's a switch hitter. I can't put those type of talking points on who you are. When I look at a Brian Norman, I can see Brian Norman is developing his style. He's developing the Brian Norman method. You feel what I'm saying? And for me, it's just like, bro, you are, like I've heard many old school trainers use the term, you are a Frankenstein fighter.
Yep.
So I'm just like, I don't know, bro. I just don't know. And for you to come out here and try to speak definitively, it's like there is nothing cohesive and consistent about you. So I can't believe when you say these type of things anymore. I'm sorry. You've lost me on that. But I still know you're a hell of a boxer, and I'm looking for, that moment where you put it together and you start to show us what is the Devin Haney style. Yeah, I'm a hybrid of all of this, but I've molded it all into this type of package. And I just don't see that with you. I haven't seen that with you, not even in your last outing. So it makes it difficult for me to believe you when you say people are not on your level. What is your level?
Like, you don't know what your level is, bro. This is what I be trying to say, man. Like, to use one of your analogies, as a chef, right? You ask somebody, you quizzing somebody, you thinking you might want to take on somebody and bring them back in the kitchen. You ask them what they know, and you ask them to show you something, and everything they show is bad technique through all of the shit, and they just, it was like lower level, nothing 5-star-ish in the restaurants, but everything, it's like you got to bring them and say, listen, man, if you're going to work with me, man, you're going to have to forget everything you know. You got to forget everything you know. Like, I don't care if you did it like that over there. Like, let's just forget every fucking thing you know. We're gonna start over from scratch. That's the only way. You need to be like a brand new sponge. Like a new, fresh out the wrapper. Like, and forget about that. Don't bring none of that shit you learned over here. Because it's not gonna work. And then we're gonna have to start from scratch. But like when you've been flawed, you've been flawed in your technique, but you've been bigger, stronger, longer, taller, and all of these advantages over everybody. Like, it is very hard to come up. You don't fix the flaws, but now you're getting flushed to where you don't even have those advantages. I mean, I'm telling that, like, it was on full blast with Ryan. And yeah, it was some time off. And then since then, it's been 2 more coaches? It's like, it's not gonna be fixed, bro. It's like, and I heard from his biggest knee pad wearing fan, like the way he said something today, I was just like, he knows. He said, this is what he said. He said something, I'm gonna paraphrase. He basically said, so listen. He said, basically, man, Devin gonna be set, man. We not even gonna worry about it. His name is big enough. He was basically saying, like, when he get his ass busted like a grape, his name gonna be big enough for him to get more fights. That's what he was basically. I'm like, not from you. I know you ain't talking like that, but that's what he said. He was basically saying Brian Norman's not big enough. So when we do, and we will be victorious, we will, and then we're gonna unify with David Betty Crocker. It was calling him David Betty Crocker. I'm like, man, that's why they were saying that they was going to go do that first. And I'm like, we don't believe you, because he's not going to stand in that line with it's a 10-pound rehydration. The bottom line is, man, nobody around him. It's this wilder shit all over again, bro. When nobody around him is gonna keep it a buck, and then in hindsight, everybody gonna be like, "Well, yeah, we knew." And this, it's like, well, why are you doing it now? It's like you don't gotta shit on the dude. The dude has the level of skills, but if you were more honest at where he was at and what he was supposed to be doing, and say, "Listen, man, we might not be able to get the jumbo package. We may not be able to get the big money. We might be able to get enough to pay the bills while you work on some things and fix everything." Because right now you trying to like learn on the job, and this is a dangerous job to learn on.
Yeah,
we dealing with explosives and fucking refrigerant. You know what I'm saying? That if you don't put this thing on right, this shit will freeze your finger off. Like, if you know what I'm saying, it's like you can't do that on the job with somebody like Brian Norman. He's young, he's eager, he's hungry, and he ain't like, just like when I keep going back to Greg saying that dude was a hype job. This dude is not, Brian Norman Jr. is not what they saying he is. I could hear people online saying the same thing about, oh nah, man, he ain't. When the last time Brian Norman, none of that shit matters. Didn't Bud just show y'all? That don't matter. Like, you could be looking at who he did. He ain't worried about who he was in the ring with, the deal, whatever. He's looking at Devin. He's been studying Devin. That's what people gotta realize. Like, yeah, his resume might not say this and this and that. He looking at Devin and the shit that ain't fixed. He's still doing shit that he was doing in the Ryan fight. He did it in the Jose Ramirez fight. He got a new coach.
Bingo.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say it like this: when you look at what they're saying, and this is part of what I'm somewhat expecting. I'm expecting Devin to come out early. Use his jab a lot, try to set some sort of tone of where he's going to box, right? Where he wants to try to keep it a boxing match. For me, Brian Norman plays that little dance a little bit, and then he starts to establish the pressure because he's going to taste everything that Dev has, and it's just going to be ineffective. They're looking at, okay, our argument is going to be on the fact that Devin was winning rounds before he got knocked out. You gotta respect Dev because Dev was outboxing the shit out of him before he got caught, and that's all it was. He just got caught. I mean, come on, bro. This shit is boxing. things happen in boxing. And that's why they're making that statement now, because they see the inevitability. They see the fact that you haven't corrected these mistakes. Now, for me, you brought up cooking, and I'm a circle back to this. When you come to me for a job interview, I don't have you try to make something complicated. I don't even have you make a dressing or anything like that. I got a little bucket. You feel what I'm saying? Full of eggs. All I want you to do is make me an omelet. Just make me an omelet. I want to see your technique in making me an omelet. I'm going to know everything I need to know about you because of how you made me an omelet. Just like certain fighters go into a gym, the guy says, you know what, throw a jab. I just want to see your form when you throw the jab. And I can tell how you was trained and what certain things are when you throw this jab. Now, if you can make the omelet well and I see technique, I'm gonna say to you, okay, cool. Have you ever worked on anything like this? And you tell me no. At that point, I'm gonna say, okay, even if you had seen some of these items working here, you gotta forget everything you know. The worst thing you're gonna do here, the worst thing you could do here, is to tell me how you did something someplace else. Because I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. You feel what I'm saying? So when you look at a fighter that's a Frankenstein fighter, it's telling me certain things. Yes, you can go into any gym and adhere to how that gym is maneuvering, but then that has to work in real time when you have a guy who's been consistently working at this other gym and has this invisible communication thing that's, you know, this guy is yelling out shit in code. You feel what I'm saying? You know, give me a bag of strawberries. You feel what I'm saying? To you, you're hearing this shit and it might be distracting you from what you're trying to do. Like, the fuck this dude just, did I just hear somebody yell out a bag of strawberries? And next thing you know, this dude is just got his head in your chest and he bopping a little bit different and he just catching you with crazy body shots. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, I'm in boxing, I'm going to take consistency over inconsistency. In my kitchen, I will always take consistency over inconsistency. But if you consistently work at top level places, then I can understand that certain techniques I'm going to teach you and show you, you may have seen before, but you may not have seen it in this way, and how the application and the method that I'm using holds better for the application that I'm using this thing for. And those are things that great trainers and teachers will actually show the people who are, you know, who are their underlings or someone that's putting their trust in you to make them a world champion.
Yep. Good stuff, man. AJ, what you want to say, man, before we wrap up, bro?
Oh, just real quick, man. Like, to put it all in perspective, like, when Wilder fought Fury, like, you don't gotta like Fury, you can like him, whatever. But ever since he gave the blueprint, everybody pretty much followed that blueprint to the T, man. He said he can't fight going backwards, and that's what he did for the next, 2 fights they had, 3 fights. That's what Joseph Parker did, backed him up. That's what the Asian dude did, backed him up. That's what a Ngannou was gonna probably do, back him up. Like, it's pretty much signed sealed that Devin, like, bro, he been doing this for like a little while now. Cause even Tank said it. He said it about all the so-called 4 kings. He said it about Ryan. He said it about Devin. He said it about Teofimo, that they keep their head on the line And what Devin do, he got a tendency of dropping, like he do that shoulder roll, but it's like he drop his hands, and it's like his whole, like you could come over or you can hook him. Like I don't even know boxing, bro, and I seen it because when he fought Lomachenko kept piecing his ass up every time he did it. I'm like, that must be like a little twitchy ass. So it's like, instead of trying to pump his head up, putting the S on his chest, bro, if y'all already mess with that dude, which they don't, they just use it for the clicks and the bots and viewers that come to their channel, tell him to fix whatever mistakes he's doing and stop sending him in there with that S on his chest, bro. Because like you said, it's not the type of game that you should be doing that. He can really get hurt. Like that, like what AZ just said, that dude hit hard, bro. I watched his last 2 fights. He hits hard. That ain't this not no Ryan with speed. With speed is power. Even though Ryan got some power, he more so on the speed side. But Norman Jr., that's a country boy. He hit you with one of them. It's like that. He going out. He not dropping and getting up. He gonna go out. So that's all. And Norman the favorite too, by the way. So yeah, that's all I gotta say, man. But no, I'm out of here though, y'all. I'm gonna get back to this work stuff, man.
All right, man. Good. Thanks for stopping through, man. You know what I'm saying? Anytime, bro. Be safe out here, man.
All right, y'all too. Be safe, man.
All right, man. Yeah, man. I think we did a good job on this one.
Yeah, for sure. And at the end of the day, man, like I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna triple down on it, bro. It's some of these fans have developed the loudest voice. You feel what I'm saying? Bud Crawford announced it. I think it was early in the year, or it may have been late last year, or something like that, where he said Tank fucked up the game because we're in the era of the knockouts and stuff like that. And then for this abrupt switch in, in the narrative and how people are moving and discussing the knockouts. Like in one instance, you're with the knockout, you want to see the knockout, you're hoping for the knockout. But then in the other instance, when it comes down to your favorite fighter, the knockout doesn't matter. It's not called knockout, it's called boxing. That's why it's called the sweet science. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Even science can be boring. You feel what I'm saying? Science can definitely be boring, and even at the most remedial levels. So all I'm saying is this: the thirst for the knockout king is there. I think the bigger issue is, in this era, we want the knockout guy, but we want the knockout guy in the complete package. You feel what I'm saying? So you bought the knockout guy doll, right? You're gonna be pissed off that they sell the attachment for the Kung Fu grip separately. They sell the backpack separately. They sell the stomp a mud hole in the motherfucker's ass separately. So you get pissed off that why can't you put all of this in the same package? Give us like the PlayStation with this edition and that edition, so where we have everything and all the accessories, so we can play. We can play with our new toy for hours on end, instead of playing with it for a little bit and then it's like, damn, now I gotta spend money to get the stomp a mud hole in the motherfucker ass boots. Bro. Yeah, this is why I like the boxer, This is why I'm fucking with this dude, because I don't have to spend that type of money. What you get in the initial package is what he comes with. And if there's anything else, you get a new outfit that the guy may have. But other than that, that's it. So I get where people want to be able to play with their toys for a little bit longer, but you got to understand that right now, you know, we're not looking at the George Foremans, you know, who could talk shit, bigger than life presence, big dude and everything. You know, we're not getting that. We're not looking at the Mike Tysons that, you know, had that statement. Deontay Wilder, you know, he had his moment. He had his, you know, his 15 minutes of fame, and then when it came up to actually, again, being in a situation to where you don't have all the advantages, someone is not crazy, old and shit like that, they put hands on you, knocked you the fuck out, and now got everybody questioning, and plus the moves that you made. So long story short, man, the knockout guys, you know, are the guys who come in with the biggest bang, and when they go out, it's also with the biggest bang. They're like the supernova. They're the stars, the things that make black holes, the thing that makes neutron stars and everything else. Because when they go supernova and lose, you can feel the vibrations of that thing. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere. You can measure it. There's equipment that measures the most subtle wave that came after the loss. So people love the boxers. Deep down inside, they love the knockout guys. But in this era, you want the knockout guy who's talking shit, giving you the fights you want. You know, the business of boxing isn't getting in the way and all of this other shit. And I'm just going to quote Keith Thurman when I land my plane. You are not the motherfuckers to make the fights. Get over it. If you got a knockout guy, appreciate him. It's just that simple, because you're not going to be the ones to make his fights and really tell him who he's going to fight and who he's not going to fight, and who he should fight and who he shouldn't fight. You're not in the room for none of that shit. And that's where I land my plane, bro. Great show.
I appreciate you, man. As always, man. You always add that good touch in the analogies, man. So I hope you have enjoy the rest of your week, man. You know, we're gonna chop it up. I got some other things brewing, some other topics anyway that we're gonna cook on anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just really like looking forward to the Hitchens cooking things like that, because I was one of those sketchy fans of his. You feel what I'm saying? We can go back on lives where I actually was thinking what's the name was going to beat him, and when he came out and did his thing in the fashion he did his thing, it was like, okay, you know, stop betting against Richard Hitchinson. So yeah, that's where I ended, bro. And I, like I said, I just can't wait to do that cooking, really get into a deep dive of this guy.
Okay. Well, I'll put it together then. That'll be the next one probably then.
Yeah, for real. You know, on to the next one, bro.
All right, AC. Peace, bro. But let me do this one thing, because I wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying? I always try to leave y'all with something y'all could put in y'all rucksack. And since we had a lot of people on the panel today, and I just wanted to let everybody get whatever they had on their chest off. But a good boxing match, a good fight is just like sex, man. Like you don't have to you don't have to explain it. No, see, because what I was doing was when I had your leg up, I was doing let's know, you know what I'm saying? Good boxing. And the knockout is like the best, is like the climax, the best climax you can have. You know, you don't have to explain it. If you got to sit around and explain it, like, no, see, what I was doing was, it's like when everybody say, no, it's sweet science, and if you don't understand, and all, it's like, no, then you don't have to explain good sex. You don't have to explain good boxing. You definitely don't got to explain a motherfucking knockout. What don't you understand? I knocked it out the park. You know what I'm saying? That's really what happened. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was happy. You know, it was a lot of oohs and ahs. You know, it might have been scheduled for 12 rounds. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was what it was, and everybody was happy. That's what good boxing is. That's why I salute the knockout. And just as a history lesson, Ernie Shavers Julian Jackson, Bob Foster, Archie Moore, Thomas the Hitman Hearns, Roberto Duran, Prince Nassim Ahmed, Wilfredo Gomez, Rocky Marciano, Joe Louis, Nigel Benn, and Wilder were knockout artists. These men just didn't knock out opponents. They shaped eras, forced rule changes, and inspired entire generations of fighters. Tyson made intimidation part of a boxing psychology. Anyway, showed that surgical precision can be as lethal as brute force. Wilder, surprisingly, reminded everyone that raw power can still level the playing field in the age of analytics. You know what I'm saying? Those are just some guys that I had benchmarked to talk and say some things. You know, Roberto Duran, hands of stone for a reason. His knockouts weren't just about power. They were about intent. He fought like he was trying to erase people. Prince Nassim Ahmed, explosive athleticism and audacious angles. Even his jab looked like it came with bad intentions. He made knockouts look like performance arts. Thomas the Hitman Hearns, his right hand was a guillotine. He iced Roberto Duran with a single cross and brought heavyweight level violence to the welterweight and middle divisions. Archie Moore, the old mongoose, scored 131 knockouts and a record 186 wins, an absurd number that might never be matched. His timing and precision, not brute strength, made him deadly. Bob Foster, his long arms and whip-like jab set a devastating power shots. He ruled the light-heavy scene in the 60s and 70s, knocking out nearly everyone he faced. Julian the Hawk Jackson, perhaps the purest puncher pound for pound in boxing history. He could end the fight instantly, even when behind on points. His KO of Harold Graham is practically physics defying. Ernie Shavers, ask anyone who fought him, Ali, Holmes, Norton, they'll tell you he was the hardest puncher they'd ever faced. Shavers didn't just hit, he rearranged atoms. Deontay Wilder, Wilder's right hand might be the most nuclear single weapon of the modern era. 43 knockouts and 48 wins. It's not pretty, but it's proof that precision isn't everything if you hit like a truck. George Foreman, pure raw force. When he dropped Joe Frazier 6 times in 2 rounds in 1973, he redefined puncher. Even at 45, he knocked out Michael Moorer to regain the title. Mike Tyson, his knockouts weren't just violent, they were theatrical. The peekaboo stance, the uppercut hook combo, the sheer speed for a man his size made him a terror. Between 1985 and 1989, Tyson's average fight lasted less than 3 rounds. Man, awesome sauce. The knockout artists who didn't just win fights, they detonated them. They are the men whose punches became myth, who highlight reels look like demolition footage, generational in boxing, meaning their power defined their era or even changed how opponents fought. This is what I'm saying we're missing. This is what we're losing, man. Like the knockout artists, man, we gotta preserve. They're like an endangered species, man. We gotta support them because that's what bring casual eyes. Because that's really what happened. Hardcores watch boxing. Somebody might get invited to a boxing game. Somebody might have tickets. You know what I'm saying? You might be related to somebody that's a hardcore, and they'll be like, oh, let's go to this fight, and then you go, and then somehow, some way, oftentimes, somebody end up on a highlight reel, like that shit that Brian Norman did when he went over there to Japan and had that shot of gin. That was on Sports Center. You know what I'm saying? That made a ripple effect all across where everybody saw that. He instantly gained fans. Like, who is somebody like that? Who is that somebody who clearly cleared somebody's cash? Cleared his whole cash. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys can't be underappreciated. You know, they in the contest. They bring the excitement. Yeah, we like the skill boxer. Yeah, we like the guy that can stick and move and hit. But just like when people go to football games, man, they go to see touchdowns. They go to see people get Randy Moss. They go to see people get hit stick. They don't go to see people kick a bunch of field goals. And even though it's called football, if it was a game full of field goals, you'd be pissed off. So yeah, it's called boxing. It's not called hit and get hit. It's not called knockout. It's not called any of that. But we go for the knockout. The knockout guarantees the victory. You take the decisions into your own fate, into your own hands, and you seal the deal. So in present day, man, we got to give, you know, the reason why we used to like Roy, reason why we like Big George, reason why we like Tyson, the same reason why we like Tank. And the reason why, what they fear, that's what they fear. They fear that number down there. Because it's a 93.33% chance you're going night-night. Anyways, man, I hope you enjoyed something, man, from this cook, man. Tried to have fun. It did, you know, it did solicit, you know, some people to get up on the panel, man. I think we had a good old time, man. We just talked some good old boxing. Everybody voiced their opinions, man. At the end of the day, it's the sport that we love. Silence is consent is the motto. All it takes for evil to prevail is for grown men and women to remain silent. So we speak to everything that we need to. You know, we speak about facts. You know, we do use data. We do have opinions, even though we allow people to disagree. We're not going to argue and curse you out. You can say something, even if it's about my favorite fighter. I'm not going to bite your head off and spit down your neck. We can hash it out, you know what I'm saying, the way boxing talk needs to be. Anyways, I enjoy talking this boxing talk. I could talk it forever. With that being said, I'm going to get up out of here. Anyways, thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch, but you was like, what the fuck is this nigga, right? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to